My back good, it wakes the fire in me, storms don't shake me, doubt won't break me, I rise from the dirt where the world tried to place me, my hunger's louder than excuses ever were, my mission's clearer every time the lines blur, I don't bend, I don't fold, I don't ask for a path, I carve my own road, when the weight hits heavy, I stand tall, when the nights get long, I stay strong, I live forward, no rewind, every scar on my body is proof of my climb. I don't break, I don't quit, I rise again every time life hits. Blood in my teeth, fire in my chest, I push past limits you thought were the end. I'm built from pressure, shaped by the grind, unshaken, unbroken, unbreakable drive. People see the end result, never what it costs. The early mornings, lonely nights, battles that I fought, but still I move. Discipline over mood, every sacrifice made as fuel. My heart is forged in the heat of the struggle. My will is iron, my mindset is muscle. If the world says stop, I go again. If the path gets blocked, I make a new one instead. I don't want easy, I want earn. Greatness grows in those who hurt. I don't wait for fate to choose. I become the proof. I don't break, I don't quit, I rise again every time life hits. Blood in my teeth, fire in my chest, I push past limits you thought were the end. I'm built from pressure, shaped by the grind, unshaken, unbroken, unbreakable drive.
How about now? That's probably better. Boomer, you know, I always got to start off with the intro that keeps me occupied on not the chat and not my audio. So that's always fun. Appreciate the heads up, guys. Welcome back, my glorious Tater Nation. You know us potatoes, we have lots and lots of eyes, and we like watching all the interesting things that humans do up top, but apparently not my chat, right? All right, so jumping into the chat, let's see. Looked like Apprentice was first today, so I appreciate the getting the chat started. And Mr. B, appreciate you the smashing. Please smash that like. So I do have a possibly a shorts version, the vertical stream, and that kind of might have thrown things off. I don't know exactly what that was about, but I appreciate you letting me know in the chat. Tyler, appreciate the engagement. Says I'm here working out in the yard. That's always good. Good weather means getting out into the yard, right? Dave, so am I, Tyler. Appreciate the engagement, Dave. Abe, good to see you. And as always, that picture is dope. Homestead Wench, appreciate the engagement and the share on X. If you haven't shared the stream, please share the stream. I'd appreciate it. Blood Logos, thank you very much for the engagement. Good to see you, man. And then all the people screaming at me that I was muted. Good to see you, Peach. Appreciate the everybody letting me know that I was muted. Kyle, good to see you. Crusader, good to see you, man. I know that you've been busy, so it's good to see you. I'm just watching, just not hearing. Interesting. Fair enough, Dave. All right. So let me get into something funny for the first to start off with, and then we'll talk about a few different topics. I do actually kind of want to talk about my moderation on Marte and Circa. So I might go over that if we have time, and we might not. We'll see. But it will be out on my channel this next week, so I would like any feedback on my moderation. I saw that Cool Vic, if you don't know Cool Vic, check his channel out. He's pretty awesome. He did a review on that debate and gave a little bit of feedback, so I appreciate that feedback that he gave, and definitely be taking it into account because I noticed it as well. It's just learning to moderate has been interesting for me. All right, so I'm not sure what's going on with my chat because I was getting everybody's chats. Now I'm not. So, Peach, you'll use your commas. Yeah, Crusader, appreciate you posting that. If you haven't liked this, subscribe, and share, please do so. It definitely helps me out in the algorithm. All right, so getting in over to the right screen here. So this this is pretty funny. Actual footage of God putting me on the right path. This is pretty much true to life right here. Of course, it's not very big. Let me see. That's the most it's going to give me. All right, fine. Start it over, I guess. Maybe. I guess it's a boomer moment for me. I'm not sure what, why it doesn't go full screen here. Hey, JB, appreciate the engagement, man.
I know you're fine. What are you doing, dude?
Yeah, and this is real life right here. Nah, man, I'm not doing so good. No, I'm good. I'm good. Nah, I'm not. I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my highlight reel for chats. It doesn't let me highlight your chats now. It do be like that. Blood logos. Yeah, exactly, Blood. Yeah, it do be like this. Come on, you know you're okay. There's my chat. Good to see it finally. Holy cow. And it all just populated at once. All right. So that I found that funny. As we and if you haven't seen it, there you go. Okay, so real quick, let me get into this so there's nothing else sensitive on the screen. Pause that for a second. Get over to my chat now that it actually populated. Still can't hear Dave. What? Apparently, I didn't want to know what's going on in the chat, I guess. Let's see. Anybody new? JB, appreciate the engagement. Not a huge debate fan. I don't like people arguing, rather bang my head on the wall. That's actually a very fair point. I don't blame you at all there. All right. Pretty much, you know me. Might be a potato. Could be a potato. It wouldn't be a potato stream or tater stream if it didn't be like that. That's truth too. All right, so this is a funny. So it says that one coworker who always has something to say, but is actually clueless on what is actually going on. So we'll take a look at this, and then we'll get into some topics.
Not sure why I'm here or what I'm doing. But there's a reason.
Ma'am, we're discussing the rezoning for the Portillos. Do you have any comments on that?
For what?
We're discussing the rezoning on 53rd for...
Well, I live on 63rd.
Again, we're here to hear comments about the rezoning.
Well, I don't like Facebook, and I don't like the internet because I can't find a job.
Because I can't find a job. That's the only reason. Yeah, I can think of many reasons why I don't like the internet, and it's more than just that I can't find a job.
The library blocked my password. Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
No. No, it doesn't, considering we're talking about rezoning. Oh, man. And then something that was kind of funny, but not as like it's more of ironic funny and not like haha funny. So anybody that liked Pokemon Go, you were basically, if you haven't heard by now, you were basically utilized to map the world for their 3D program, right? So let me show you here what this gentleman has to say on it.
Our entire planet was 3D scanned with Pokemon Go. You were tricked into building the most detailed 3D map of the world only for AI to use it against you. 30 billion real-world images were scanned with users' phones while they were catching Pokemon in the streets to create
streets, in people's homes, inside of buildings, all sorts of stuff. Yeah, Blood Logos. I don't like Facebook either. Yeah, Apprentice, same. Yeah. That's the thing is, if I didn't own a business as a main, 40-hour-a-week job, I wouldn't own Facebook. And now that I'm online, it's probably not going to go anywhere, unfortunately, because Facebook is where a lot of people go to advertise their YouTube and things like that. But if I can get a decent enough following, I probably wouldn't be on any social media that I don't have to be, which is not Facebook. You don't have to be on Facebook. All right. Yeah, Apprentice, exactly. Terrifyingly brilliant. This is very smart on their part, and yet scary stuff. Yeah, JB, deleted my Facebook over 10 years ago. That would be nice. I was actually probably about that time that I was thinking about it, and then I started my business, and maybe 6 years ago, maybe 10. And then I pondered on it a couple years and then started my business. And then I was like, yeah, can't stop it now. If it maybe Dave, maybe Facebook doesn't like you. Yeah, maybe. I don't.
The most realistic one-to-one digital replica of our entire planet, and you will not believe how much info they really have on you. You see, those Pokemon people were chasing were not in random spots, but in locations that required more data. The less data a geolocation on Earth had, the rarer the Pokemon they would put there, with players continuously scanning the world at different times of day, different times of year, providing the most valuable and detailed map of the world that puts Google Maps to shame, who spend millions of dollars sending their Street View vans around the world to do the same. Niantic, the guys behind Pokemon Go, did it all for free, convincing millions of users to take scans of our planet under the guise of a video game. Some users even paid Niantic to do that work for them through in-game microtransactions, and it was all in their terms of service. No one ever reads the fine print now, do they?
And that's just it, is they even, blatantly put it in their terms of service, telling you that you were going to be doing their legwork for them, and still millions, billions of people. I don't know how many people actually did this game. I wasn't one of them. I'm a potato, so of course I didn't play it. But all those people didn't obviously care or didn't read it. But that's a lot of legwork. That's a lot of hours that you could have essentially been building for, whatever, and they were done for free. Kind of sad to me. Apprentice, you can guarantee that they don't like you. That's fair. They probably won't like me for very long if I do stay on Facebook. You got to do what you got to do. I've just taken a different path, brother. Yeah, JB, and that's good. Again, not everybody is meant to do the same path, right? There's so many people out there, and that's part of the reason that this stream is there's so many people out there that want to be content creators and influencers and this and that and the other. And we're not all meant to be. I don't even know if I'm meant to be, to be completely honest. I'm just a potato wanting to appeal to other potatoes out there to understand the world that we all live in. But it becomes an issue with so many people wanting to go into content creation over what I do for a living, right? Which is actually awesome. I actually have a local school district that has reached out to me to do a career fair for their school and show the next generation what the trades hold. And I'm actually really excited to do that. I wish I could make more content out of it, but obviously that's not going to go over very well. So I just want to be, let you guys know that's pretty awesome. Don't call it art. Greatly appreciate the engagement, brother. Good to see you. At least these people get some exercise. That's true. That's true. Very little, but some. Yeah, apprentice. Yeah, and we all have our parts and purposes. Exactly. Blood, I appreciate the engagement. Back when Pokemon Go was really big, I almost fought a group of teenagers that I thought were doing something to my car. Turned out they were trying to catch Pokemon. And that's the thing. That's the other thing is it was really invasive when you really think about it. The people doing the things that they did. But we'll get back to this for a second.
Documenting the entire physical world at a scale no mapping company could ever imagine. And I don't think you realize how insanely valuable this sort of data is. Never mind just street view, we're talking middle of a forest view, behind the dumpster view, inside your own home view.
Yeah, so if it was telling you that you had Pokemon in your own home and you went and caught that, there's maybe no hope for you. I don't know, because there is no way that you could. Well, then again, how often do they take infrared pictures of your face through your face camera on your phone constantly all day long? So who knows how much they've actually mapped. I guess I can't say much there.
Mapping data that would allow AI robots to navigate every nook and cranny of the world down to the centimeter without needing GPS. In fact, this is more than 100 times more precise than GPS, which is accurate to about 1 to 10 meters at best. And this data can all be stored entirely locally within the machine without needing overhead satellites like GPS, what they're calling a large geospatial model, LGM.
So again, next steps to being that more refined, more spatially efficient data usage. So how more advances in technology do we need till there's no need for data storage? Everything is just used off of something, and all of this infrastructure that we're building for data is obsolete, and then we have all of this infrastructure that is no longer needed. Let's see. Kyle, Wi-Fi routers are mapping the inside of the homes. Yeah, and that's the other thing is there's so many other things out there that are already mapping the inside of homes. How much did this actually do in comparison? Is this just a third-party company that did it? Where the Wi-Fi is a third-party company, where another one is a third-party company. How many third-party companies are we going to allow to have all that information? JB, there's a Pokemon in my gun room. Let me run in there and map it for you. Yeah, exactly, right? I wonder if there's any dead spots for families like mine that never played it, and Mr. B. Yeah, I'm curious if it actually had any flaws or if it actually got everything that it wanted, Apprentice from Blood Logo says, I wouldn't be surprised if there were deaths. Yeah, well, and that's the thing, unalivings with the people running out in the streets and all sorts of weird stuff that they were doing. Probably not. They likely had neighbors sneaking into your yard at night, and that's exactly the problem. Like I said, it gets really invasive when you start thinking about what the heck they were doing, because people like myself never did it. So there's areas that could be dead, and there could be people that were sneaking into the backyard at night or when I wasn't paying attention, or that's kind of creepy when you think about it, for sure.
Basically, the map version of an LLM, large language model, that our chatbot AIs are built on. Meaning, your obsession with catching the fictional monsters of your childhood accidentally built the navigation system of the future, and Niantic's rubbing it in your face, even changing their name to Niantic Spatial in 2025. And actually, they're not even the first company to have done something like this. Google has also been and still continues to do their own version of just this. ReCAPTCHA. You know, those annoying I am not a robot, click all the images of Bridges prompts you get when you try to log in. Do you ever stop to think why the prompt is I am not a robot, or why they almost always showed images of cities and the outdoors?
And that's the other thing, like, who was it? Don't Call It Art, maybe said, I don't remember who said it, but mapping the inside of your homes with Wi-Fi. This is another way that they're training AI through our work, right? We help them understand what a bridge is. We help them understand what motorcycles are, stoplights are, those kinds of things every time that we do one of these for a computer module. And so we're doing a lot of work for them without even knowing it. Again, how many companies are we going to allow to do this? I guess I don't know exactly what we can do. I'm not really saying much. I'm just bringing this to the attention, I guess. All right, let me into X. Yeah, so I had some bookmarks that I wanted to talk about. This one
I don't
was
know who you are.
odd.
You don't belong to this neighborhood.
I don't know how many of you guys have saw this. Don't know who this guy is. It came across my feed, and then I saw the next video where he actually, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But this is interesting. I'm curious what this gentleman is thinking here. Jesus. Freaks out for a minute. Their intro here.
Hi there, can you open this door, please?
For what?
I just want to make sure that everything's okay. There seems to be something going on.
What do you mean?
I don't know, I just figured I'd check on something.
I don't know what you want, man. Get out of my house.
Open this fucking door!
Again, I don't know who this guy is. So apparently this gentleman wasn't at home. He was just remotely accessing his Ring camera through his phone while he was at work, and saw this guy come up and try to get into his house. So he approached him, and this guy freaks out, talks about his daughter, and that he wants in because his daughter might, not this guy's daughter, but the person that owns the house's daughter might be in trouble.
Where's your daughter, man? Where's your daughter,
What are
man?
you talking about?
Where's your daughter? Who's in there with you?
Bro, if you don't
Open this
leave,
fucking door. Open this door, I'm breaking it fucking down. You understand me?
leave my house. You don't.
Are you okay?
Dude, he tells him it doesn't matter what, like, just leave. He told you to leave. It's his house. You don't need to ask him what's wrong. Yeah, this video is crazy, Kyle. Exactly. I don't understand it. And Apprentice, I can't believe this guy's out there tarnishing Dresden's name. Yeah, right. Reddit mod misogyny. Thanks, Blood Logos. Appreciate the engagement. I'm a potato, so I'm trying to read that. Anyway, we'll get back to it for a second.
Is everyone in this house
okay.
okay?
What? Everyone's okay. What do you want?
Keep, like, it's not your house. Just leave. He asked you to leave. And yeah, I agree with you, Peach. I feel like so many people have psychosis. Like, there's so many weird things going on out there nowadays. And this like,
Can you leave my house, please?
Can you open the door, please?
What was that? A good, like, almost 30 seconds to 45 seconds. He just sits there and stares at the camera until he, like, again, I'm going to ask you to leave my property. And dude just stands there toe sandals, and a trench coat. Like he's a big baddie, you know. Yeah, JB, that is a powerful drug. That's a possibility. Appreciate it. Blood is like knowing a person's character by their facial features. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate the engagement and the explanation.
You have nothing to do with my house. Can you leave my house?
You know what my name is?
I don't know who you are. You don't belong in this neighborhood. That's for sure.
This is my neighborhood, though.
Yeah, I live there. I don't know you.
It's just as much his neighborhood as it is yours. If he lives there too, you with your sandals and your trench coat. What are you, HOA? This is why I don't like HOAs, man.
My name is Harry Dresden, motherfucker. Open the door.
Like, big, I'm gonna get you. And then he gets in. I don't know how he gets in, but the psychopath gets in.
This is my neighborhood. Open the fucking door.
Yeah, don't call it art. The highlight of that, I've been meaning to mention it. Oh my God, there's the legendary Pokemon by the KFC. That might as well get me a couple pot pies. Right? Apprentice toe sandal, that is called a thong before the butt floss got a rebrand. True that. Oh, he's just sitting there.
No.
Yeah.
Or I will fucking end you. Do you understand me?
Pretty sure that was a threat. That was a life threat. Like, pretty sure that's not that HOA, your neighborhood or not, that's not legal, bro. Just sits there. Yeah, exactly, JB. Thanks for sharing your name, sharing the intent, letting everybody know exactly what you're there for. Makes it a lot easier. Thank you very much, Marte, for the engagement. Let me know when I can come on and debate again. I've got a list of opponents wanting a shot. Oh, sweet. Right on. Yeah, definitely anytime. Friday nights are the Friday Fast Friday debates, where we try to keep it to the more of the amateurs. But anytime, whether it be myself or Tyler, I'm sure we could get you on and get you squared away there. Appreciate the engagement. And if you don't know, Marte has his own channel and has some decent debates. We did a debate that I might be covering at the end of this show if I have time. Freaking weirdo. Jesus Christ. Destruction of property, possibly destruction of that door, intent, like, with a violent weapon. Like, how many things are you gonna rack up here, dude? Holy cow. It's still going. Sorry, guys. Jesus. I mute it just as he goes silent, and then I bring it back up just as he starts screaming again. Fucking weirdo. Holy cow. Anyway. So yeah, like I said, then he goes into his little tirade that you saw at the end there. This guy actually gets in, and then the homeowner gets back, and he clobbers him upside the head with a shovel, and then the police show up. It was pretty epic. Yeah, what the exactly, JB? That was wild. Dude, that dude was crazy. I hope he gets help. Honestly, I hope he gets help. Harry Dresden is a fictional wizard who wears it. Oh my Lord. Thank you very much, Apprentice. I had no fucking idea what he was talking about. That makes so much more sense now. Thank you very much for that. Too weak to even break the ring camera. Yeah, Blood Logos, exactly. Rips that bell apart and then can't even do anything to the ring camera. Yeah, Crusader, appreciate you dropping that in the chat. So if you don't know Marte's channel, it's in the chat now. So this is something that I came across, and let me see if I can figure out how to expand it a little bit. Maybe you can read it. This was a story I found on X, and I don't know who posted it. I don't know this person personally, Atticus, but he says, I used to have a New York City friend who liked to pick my brain about dating. Our conversations would go similar to this. Till what time of a day of a date should I give a guy until I cancel on him if he doesn't confirm? Confirm? Isn't that the process of you making the date in the first place? This question confused me. Yeah, it confuses me as well. Wait, what do you mean? Do you already have plans set? Well, yeah, but he has to confirm. I'm sorry, what the frick? I don't know. If you doubt that you're still on a date, why don't you text him and ask him? Well, that's not my job, she says. Okay. So why not just show up at the time and place that you agreed upon then? Well, no, I can't do that. He has to confirm or I'll cancel. So you're saying after you've agreed on a time and a place, you want him to text you the day of to let you know that he is still coming. Well, yes, of course. By like noon or I'll cancel. Ladies, do not take this advice. This is a potato talking, and I can tell you this is not a good way of thinking. He goes on with, did I tell him this? Did you tell him this? Does he know he has to confirm deadline to meet or you'll back out? No, I'm not his mother. He should know. I don't know. I don't think guys know this. If I had already agreed upon a time and a place to meet someone, I'd just text them on my way out the door to coordinate to make sure that they're on their way out the door as well. Similar to this gentleman, I would be the same way. If I had already planned a time and a place, I would just expect to be on my way to that time and place before I coordinated with them to make sure that I wasn't bugging them. I wasn't taking time away from their little prettiness ritual. And I get my time to do my prettiness ritual. I know I'm a potato, but I do like to get a little gussied up when I go on a date. Well, guys are supposed to confirm. Asking for a guy to be a gentleman is the bare minimum. I can't babysit them all day. Again, who's babysitting who if you're the one who's going to be canceling because he can't confirm with you? Bare minimum would be you reaching out to him and saying, hey, are we still on? If you're so paranoid about it not being on, or just show up and get stood up if he's going to stand you up. But most good guys aren't going to stand you up. So he goes on to say, by this point, my brain would be in a state of paralysis. So I just shrug and say, whatever. So in practice, she'd regularly make plans with a guy, and then he'd end up texting her an hour or so before they were supposed to meet. And she'd write back with a snotty, oh, no, I'm sorry. You didn't confirm, so I'm not coming. Good luck to you. Eventually, I learned she had a short list of TikTok influencers who were filling her head with all of these dating rules every day. Total nonsense. Completely antisocial and neurotic, playing every single insecurity she had and convincing her to self-sabotage at every turn. Single women keeping women single, right? If you're listening to a TikTok influencer, you're not actually researching what you should be doing. If you listen to the TikTok influencer and then research, that might be a little bit different, but this is kind of ridiculous here. But she was completely beholden to them. They owned her mind and directed her moves. It is difficult to overstate how healthy TikTok is for young women. It's like a diet of McDonald's every day for the brain. If I could commission one study, it would be life outcome of women who never used TikTok or Instagram versus life outcomes for those who were active uses in their formative years. I bet the difference would be striking. This is a pretty good example and interesting that women can pretty much avoid most of these negative qualities by simply staying off of Instagram and TikTok. Imagine that, right? Would that ever actually happen? I don't know. But again, this is an interesting story, and I've seen it with my own eyes, a lot of these women being kind of like this. Shepherd's Nook, appreciate the engagement. Late to the party. What's up, Tater Nation? Late is better than never. I appreciate the engagement and the view. If you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream and share, of course. Yeah, Blood Logos, low IQ behavior for real. TikTok, people, it's not a good place to be all the time, for real. Let's see. So, Homestead Wench, feminism has poisoned the well. Most women suck, and everything except the mental stable men. Repeal the 19th. Right? Yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm more and more agreeing with that. Let's see. Okay. So back to this. So this was something that Rachel Wilson has posted on X a couple of times. And if you haven't seen Rachel Wilson, she's another creator. The Crucible, Andrew Wilson, Rachel Wilson. They're both good people, good places to see. Check out. I'll probably be covering another Rachel Wilson debate before long. But this one is wild to me, guys. I can't even understand, and repealing the 19th brings us right into this, really. But I can't understand this. If you guys have seen this, I'm curious in the chat if you've seen.
Who do you want, Dada or Pop?
Mama.
No, Mama. Do you want Dada or Pop?
And they wonder why we have such an issue with this culture that we're getting built up. This is not okay. This is evil. To mock a child that wants their biological mother because neither one of you could possibly be that is absolutely, it's evil. It's demonic. This is ridiculous.
Who do you want? Dada or Pop? No. Do you want Dada? You want Pop? No way, Jose.
It's just mocking. Like, he's not comforting this child. He's not making sure that this child is mentally understanding what is going on in the world. And he's just mocking it for views, for likes, for his own entertainment. What is going on in the world?
I think. Oh, there is no mama. I'm so sorry. You have Dada and Pop. You have Pop. Two choices. No mama. No. No mama.
It's like, I don't know how long this goes on, but this is heart-wrenching. It really is. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. All right, so getting into the subject of the thumbnail, Sophie Rain, right? We all know Sophie Rain and all of her drama BS garbage. But there's something that I came across here. This was 5 months ago, and I don't know how much of this is true. This could be just allegations. This could be just assertions. Could be somebody just trying to get revenge on somebody that's making billions of dollars just for ridiculousness, right? So this is taking with a grain of salt here, but it says Chat Files is the person who put this out. Bloodlug goes, who? If you don't know who, man, you're lucky as shit. I don't know how I do if you don't. Don't call it art. It says social media is all about chasing the dopamine now. Government has to intervene or there's truly a gross future ahead. Don't call it art. I appreciate that engagement. I would have to kind of agree with you. I don't know exactly how these, once we let the government in, then they don't ever leave, right? So I don't know exactly how much I want to give the government the power to rein this shit in, but this is ridiculous. Again, this is just allegations, if you will, but we'll go ahead and take a look and see what he has to say on this.
Now, let's get back to the real mess, because Sophie's situation, it goes way deeper than a couple of thirst traps. She isn't just another influencer pushing cringe content for clout. She's someone who's been actively targeting inappropriate audiences with the same content she uses to promote her OnlyFans. And the worst part is...
Yeah, before I get too far into that, yeah, Mr. B, I appreciate you pointing that out. If this isn't proof that homosexual relationships are destructive, I don't know what is. Again, if that is, that could be an outlier of the norm on homosexual relationships, but I can't unfortunately believe that it's an outlier, because why are they gay in the first place, really? Because some say that they're born with it. I don't know if I agree with that. I believe that your mind is built to be that. So, yeah, I pay no attention to people like this. And that's good, blood. I'm a little jealous, honestly, of that. As someone who's trying to get, back into the dating scene, if you will, I've had to pay attention to more things than I'd like to. And this one especially is kind of gross. Abe Dinkus, appreciate that. 2 Timothy 3:1-7 is telling. I'm definitely going to have to, part of the reason why I'm highlighting that is to mark that for later. I will probably be looking that up later. All right, so let's see. Abe, you're good. I appreciate the engagement, buddy. And it's always good to see you, man. Appreciate the engagement. Apprentice, I don't think I've ever been struck so deeply by how horrible it would be to be brought up in a complete home and never have a mother's love. Yeah, Apprentice, that would be horrific. That would be like, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to think about it.
She knows what she's doing. She literally admitted to it.
I am aware that I have a...
So she is aware that she has that type of audience. Okay. So is this allegations? I can't really tell, but what he has to say about this is interesting, to say the least.
On TikTok, which I am going to also talk about.
And before anyone tries to say maybe she didn't know inappropriate audiences were following her, she absolutely did.
DD, oh, what it is? Oh, DD, what?
A streamer, Cheezer, literally said his younger sibling got DMs from her account.
So, according to this person, again, it could be speculation. It could be him trying to get back at her or something like that because she wouldn't do something with him. I don't know. But if this gentleman is the one that they're talking about, the young underage kid, I don't know exactly what to think about this. But I agree with you, JB. I agree with you 1,010%. They should not be allowed to influence children. To influence the underage, it should not be allowed. Don't Call It Art says any OF model streaming on Twitch does this too. That's terrible. And that's the thing. That's, again, why I don't like bringing it to the front, because it gives her press that I don't care to give her. But we need to start bringing this to the front so that people that are willing to fight against it are seeing it to fight against it, because you can't fight against something you don't know.
Little brother. And the guy said, Bro, my little brother subscribed to her OnlyFans. I felt hurt. I beat the crap out of him. I'm keeping him away from these freaks.
About this Sophie Rain girl, she's a...
So this is where it really gets into the, well, with the term that I'm looking for, I can't think of the term, but basically allegations, and he gets really aggressive with the way he's talking and things like that. So he might be getting into the weeds of, yeah, I can't think of the word.
I have no... Bro, why would I respect this girl? She sells to little kids. My little brother, bro, he's only. How she feel about that? I felt hurt. Never again, bro. I'm distancing my little brother from all these fucking freaks, these psychopaths. These are the new generation serial, bro. They're sending to little boys. Hello.
Yeah. So if this was turned around, if this was reversed, again, the sex swap, the gender swap, like, can you imagine what would be going on if this was flipped? Like, dude would be in jail in no time at all. JB, I have to say, I block and monitor everything my kids do. It does fall on the parents. I agree completely. It needs to be falling back on the parents to get their kids in line and not the government. I don't know exactly how we can get back to the point where the parents can have the freedom to be at home, right? You got to have the parents at home in order for them to be able to rein their children in. If they're not at home, how can they possibly teach their kids on what right and wrong is? You have to funnel them into the public school system, and then the public school system is feeding them this garbage one way or another, right? Hey, Grid One, greatly appreciate the engagement. Good to see you, man. Says, what's up, potato? And again, if you don't know, Grid One has his own channel. Good guy to check out, based. Very much appreciate his takes on things as well. Dave Alyssa says, I'll fully admit this gives me the ick. I would agree. There aren't many things that I would say that give me the ick, right? I can usually tolerate a lot of shit. But this kind of stuff, again, if it was flip-flopped to a male.
Hello. A virgin that's actually gotten 100 times and ran through. Oh, her? Okay.
So this is where allegations, assertions, I don't know. She keeps saying that she's a virgin online. She keeps pushing that, so I can't really tell you what's actually happening, but he claims that she's been run through.
Wait, Convi mentioned me again? What?
Huh? I want to start beef so bad. Sophie Rain, you're such a whore. You lie to your own audience. You're making money off of, like, girls buying new.
And see, that's where he talks about the under. So he's like, these 15-year-olds are buying this content. And again, like David mentioned, this absolutely should not be allowed for kids. JB should not be allowed for kids. JB said it. Dave, this gives me the ick for sure. Grid One, my 15-year-old has zero social media, no desire to have social media, and he's pretty much limited to texting his friends. And that's the way it should be. 15 years old should be locked down, because that's the age that they're going to be pushing to get into this kind of shit if they have it available to them. So up to 16, 17, I didn't have a phone until I was able to have my own job. I think that's the way it should be, if I was able to pay for it myself, kind of idea. Nowadays, there's so much more to there. I don't know if that is even possible. So.
You're a whore. You lie about being a virgin. I guess you haven't had black.
And honestly, can't even blame him. He even said it perfectly. These are the new generation serial creeps, sending DMs to young people and acting like it's normal influencer behavior. If
they're sending DMs, especially DMs, like, there's one thing, and I'm an old-fashioned guy. I don't go to the DMs. It's not something that I'm okay with doing. Normally, like, I'll talk to someone in public chat, live chat, something like that, before I try to approach them in their private messaging. But for somebody to be going to there's no way in all I would ever send a DM, even if I were to talk to somebody, if I were to find out that they were under, that immediately cut. Immediately cut. This is wild. I understand that she's way younger than I am, so the age gap isn't nearly as much and all that kind of bullshit, but this is not okay. This is not okay. JB says, my kids can't even send pics with their phones. That's the way to be right there for sure. Good on you. Grid One says, my internet router is set to alert me to any odd website. So if he tries to access the corn and he has, I know about it and confront him on it. That is, again, good parenting right there. Way we all should be taking advice from. Again, his channel, check his channel out.
If a man were doing this exact thing, dressing up as characters for younger audiences, being them and DMing them, he'd be in prison right now.
Again, if this were flip-flopped, he'd be in prison. But yeah, Grid One. But ultimately, I talk to him all the time about how a man behaves and should behave. And that's, again, way we should be doing it. Every single day, it should be a constant reminder of what we should be doing, all of us, right? Women to women, women to girls, men to men, men to boys. We all should be checking each other, right? Including our friends, including our family. We should be checking each other to make sure we're keeping things the way we should be keeping things. I know I'm not always good about it. I'm not going to lie. Apprentice says, JB, how dare you oppress them like that? Hey, right? They can only make or take calls from numbers that I approve as well. Awesome, JB. Again, a very good parent to take advice from. We need to be all looking to those kinds of models, not the Kardashians.
And rightfully so.
Or this kind of bullshit.
Because Sophie's a girl, people just scroll past it like, oh, she's harmless. What really took it over the edge was how desperate she was to protect this innocent girl image she's been milking for months. She even claimed she didn't want people thinking anything happened because she's a virgin. Yeah, okay. Because that's totally believable coming from Sophie Rain.
I'm doing crazy stuff, which I never have.
I'm doing crazy stuff, which I've never have. She kind of starts to admit it.
I'm a virgin. Like, I'm a virgin to this day. Like,
this guy's face, like, sure.
Like, so people were going around saying that I was doing porn.
See, the thing about Sophie is she knows exactly what she's doing. That whole I'm 19 and I'm.
And again, if you haven't, excuse me, if there's some other videos I've covered about the Bop House and the other young woman that was next to her in that picture, Piper Raquel. She was in this Bop House before she was 18, already starting to groom people, already getting her groomed, whatever you want to call it. She's already getting people to build her empire, whatever it is. And again, is this good to be pushing the model of this onto the next generation? These kids grow up thinking that they can do this and lie and get away with it. I don't know if she's lying. I'm not going to say that she is. But if that's the case, then it's showing other people that they can.
I'm so innocent stick. It's marketing. She's been crafting this fake purity angle to appeal to her fan base, which, by the way, includes a ton of inappropriate audience members. Her biggest tool, baiting trends. She
yeah, don't go to art. The ironic thing is these models pay people to run their accounts for them. So it's probably a guy messaging the kid, right? And that's like the Apprentice says, we should be willing to hear corrections from those that care about you. Exactly. That's why, again, I say we should be checking each other, because we should be willing to hear each other more readily than just a stranger, than somebody that you're willing to pay, right? We should be willing to check each other because each other can take it. Grid One says, my son knows he is oppressed and he knows why he's being oppressed. That's the way to be right there. All right.
Dresses up as superheroes, football players, anime girls, all characters younger audiences recognize. It's manipulative and gross because she uses imagery that appeals to inappropriate audiences to funnel that same audience straight to her content. That's not some.
But that's the thing is, again, she goes more into the superheroes and these cosplays that are more recognizable by those generations that are younger, so that she can continue to feed that as they grow and groom them essentially into what she wants them to be. Mr. B, corn needs to be taken off the free speech list. It is a cancer. I agree with that completely. It's one of the things I think I might have had on the open panel the other night, and I didn't actually end up talking about it, is free speech. Where does free speech end, right? And I think that when it comes to visuals and the manipulation of said visuals, such in writing, I think there should be some kind of regulations when visuals come into play, because this is getting out of control.
Fan theory, it's literal marketing trail. She'll post a video that blows up with 10 million views, most of which are clearly younger followers, and then suddenly her OnlyFans promotion drops right after.
But recently there's been a lot of allegations.
And this is exactly it, Apprentice, right there. Imagery should never have been considered speech to be classified as free. Exactly. It's not speech when it's imagery. It's not speech. You're not talking. You're not voicing your opinion. You're doing something that makes people uncomfortable. It should be regulated.
Online talking about me, sending photos, which I can proudly say I've never done.
And that's not.
I'm sorry. Did she say probably say? Let's rewind that.
Sending photos, which I can proudly say.
Yeah, she says probably. She doesn't say definitively. She doesn't say definitely. She says, I can probably say. That shouldn't be a probably. If you've never sent them, you should be able to definitively say you've never sent them.
I've never done.
And that's not speculation, that's literally what's been happening. Then she starts promoting interactive content. You know, the whole DM me if you want something special stuff, which, let's be honest, is just digital dressed up as influencer engagement. She even
So that wasn't adult, that like when I was a child, when I was a kid, when I was a young sprout back in my day, right? That would never have flown as something that wasn't adult content there that he had to blur out because it was so revealing. Come on.
Hold followers, if you say hi, I'll send you my video. Then she followed.
I'm sorry, what? You'd sending the how is that not corn? Would it be allowed to assault you if I called it performance art? Yeah, right. Apprentice. Exactly. That's exactly it right there. Hey, TVT. Thank you very much for the engagement. Appreciate the view, buddy. Good day, gentlemen and ladies. Abe Dinkus, has everyone read the First Amendment? It's about people and government, not culture and community. We can ban these things and make them unacceptable culturally. Yes, Abe, I agree with that 110% for sure. Probably here is the legalese to provide deniability. That's fair. Let's see. Grid 1 says, Abe is right, and he is not even being a tyrant. Exactly. JB. Oh, dang, I saw the rest of her now. I totally forgive her. That's all it took, right? Yeah, right.
Up with, make sure to reply and follow up so I can DM you proof. So she's basically advertising content and then asking people, including inappropriate audiences, to comment so she can message them. That's not influencer marketing. That's straight up predatory.
Not sure why they clipped that, but that's not influence. That's fraud, man. Like the way that she was dancing in that, like, I understand it's a bikini. You can see it at the beach and all that good jazz, but there's a difference between being there to enjoy yourself and being there to show yourself. And this showing yourself is got to end. The regulation on that imagery, again, if you're there to to be there to swim, to play volleyball, whatever, that's one thing. But to be there to dance and twerk and try to get people to fap for money, it shouldn't be okay. Mr. B says, you could try to performance art me, apprentice, but I promise I will abstract art you right back. That's funny. Blood Logo says, the problem is how much money is tied into politics from corn industry. OF creator is largest donor to APAC. That is an interesting take. Apprentice says, I've never been caught dead doing anything if you could call it performative. No need to get artistic. That's funny. All right. Anyway. Exactly, Grid. Bring back public shaming. I think I mentioned on one of my other pods, I heard about a story about Idaho, and they're building a firing squad for the death penalty, for the unaliving penalty. And I'm like, why is it a facility? Why isn't it public? Like, this needs to come back to like the stockades or something like that, to where you're publicly shamed for these kinds of things. Again, the actions of the OF at all in general, especially where you're not doing anything to degrade yourself, but you're still degrading yourself. Like, I don't know. Apprentice says, corn has been a major influence of societies for ages. The reason we had VHS instead of Betamax and Blu-ray instead of HDVD, because those are the formats they chose to use. That's fair. Grid 1 says, oops, I was wrong. We need to bring back public slut shaming. That's fair too. I'd agree with that one. I'd also agree with just bringing back shaming in general. We need to bring back a lot of different kinds of shaming, and slut shaming is one of them for sure.
Wasn't hiding it either.
For sure.
It wasn't on some burner account. It was on her main.
I see a lot of things recently about me, talking about me being a pedophile and me.
Well, just stop being in the view of, like, trying to be in the view of them. Avoid the even appearance of it. If you really want to be not thought of as that, make sure that you can't be thought of as like that.
I'm sending to, which I don't do.
People started.
She's really trying really hard to lie without lying. I don't do. I probably never did. She's going to be a politician when she grows up.
Noticing. Screenshots spread, parents freaked out, even though the creators were like, yeah, this crosses the line. Because it does. There's no gray area when you're pushing that kind of content where inappropriate audiences can see it. And you'd think with the amount of backlash, she'd stop. But nah, she doubles down, acting like the problem is people misinterpreting her. No, Sophie, the problem is you doing it in the first place.
Exactly. It's you doing it at all. Period. End of discussion. No matter how you want to spin it, no matter how you want to play it off, it is still pornography. It is still bringing men to the point where they want to do things that they can't necessarily do right now or ever or whatever. We need to stop it. Apprentice says, nah, you were right, Grid. Shaming in general needs to come back. Lots of things need shaming these days. I completely agree with that. For sure. JB, I never listened to the plot when I watched Korn. Maybe that's why it worked. Yeah, probably. Blood Logos. Any adult man into her is a little sus as a PDF. She looks like she's 13. That's a fair point too. A lot of these girls that are getting into OF right at 18, you know, and they're doing things and they keep trying to say that they're virgins and they're you know, they're young and this and that and the other. And it's like, why do you keep acting like we're the ones that are PDFs when you keep trying to push that as the best thing out there? It's sad. There's a lot of things that need to be shamed for sure. And these OFs, they, like I said on the last stream, I think they shouldn't be allowed to do it when they're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, probably even 24, into the age where they're actually looking like nobody can possibly have that baby look, fat, whatever you want to call it. It's just not okay. We got to do something. And yeah, Apprentice, and that's the biggest fucking problem, is she is leaning into it. She's not just, oh, I'm cute. She's leaning into the shit. I appreciate the engagement, guys. Thank you, TVT. Thank you for posting that. Please, if I don't, say it very often, but please try to, if you like the content, please consider donating anything that you might be able to help keep me around and help. I need a new chair and all sorts of different stuff, right? So I would appreciate anything that you might be able to fork out, and that's the last you'll hear of it on this stream. So I thank you guys for putting that in the chat. All right, so getting back to this.
So let's start from the top. Sophie Rain built her image around being this quirky, cutesy, oh, I'm so awkward kind of girl from Florida. She's 19, says she's a virgin, and swears she's never done anything crazy. According to her, she's just misunderstood by the internet. Except, yeah, no one's buying that. She even had that beef.
And see, that's the thing, is she's 19, so just at that age where she's just at, right above legal, and where, how long has she been doing this? How long has she been prepping for this? All of it. Yeah, JB, I'd vote for banning corn in the US. I would too. I'm a single guy, and so I'm one to say that I don't care to have it around. I would much rather be forced into having, to get with women, right? That's all I can say, I guess. Let's see. Don't call it art. Yeah, most of them do, isn't it, though? She dances like an idiot. Well, that's the biggest thing, is like, that's part of the reason why I had never heard of her until the Whatever podcast and all the other good places, Crucible, the Whatever podcast, Grid One. I came across Grid One on the Whatever podcast and heard all of his takes, and I was like, dude, that guy's cool. Where can I find him, right? And so I started listening to Grid One from the Whatever podcast. Anyway, if you haven't checked those channels out, check them out for sure. But every time I see one start their stupid little TikTok dances, is immediately I swipe, I get rid of that shit. I don't care to watch you dance. Like, if you have something smart to say, and you want to make your tits jiggle, whatever, I'll watch it because it's something smart and good to hear. But this kind of shit is getting old for sure.
With Aiden Ross, yeah, the one where she tried to clear things up and ended up just making everything worse. She kept insisting she never met him and that the lie detector was wrong, even though everyone saw it prove she was lying. Like, girl, you're not gonna win an argument against actual science.
When you answer that, it just felt like you're lying. Can I ask that one more time?
So again, this guy is hooked up to a lie detector. Now, I understand that lie detector tests are not, like, they're admissible in court, right? They're not even a thing that you can use in court. So this may be he's just nervous, something like that. But
did you hit? Oh wait, it's not Sophia. Sophie, right? It's Sophie, right? Is it Sophie or Sophia Rain? It's Sophie, right? Did you have force with Sophie Rain?
No. That's a lie.
Oh.
No, that's a lie, he says. So again, I don't know, but it's like Brian on the Whatever podcast, again, going back to the Whatever. He talks about how women don't just up in one morning go, you know what? I think I'm going to start an OnlyFans, an OF. There's progression, right? They're not typically a virgin, right? You don't usually get up one morning and just go, I'm going to become a degen and just start like, a hardcore drug. I don't know. Like, there's progression. right? And so for her to be on OF, have the Bob House, be doing like she's doing, and as nonchalantly as she's doing, is she really at a virgin level?
Okay, God, thank you. I said the wrong name. Fucking dumbass.
Stop being weird.
Then she pulled the classic no hard feelings move, trying to act calm while the entire internet was roasting her. It was the most obvious case of damage control, except it somehow backfired and made her look even guiltier. And for a second, it looked like karma finally caught up with her.
So she goes on, tries to cope, tries to play it off like it never happened, but everybody saw well, I didn't see until now, but the polygraph test that she is not actually a virgin. If that's correct, right? Apprentice, yeah. Dancing is very generous. Dancing, heavy quotation there, is very generous. All dancing today is just foreplay, and that's the problem right fucking there, right there, man. It is just all foreplay, or maybe humiliation rituals they don't know they're participating in, and that's a big one too, for sure, because they should definitely be ashamed of that crap. I agree 110% for sure. Blood Logo says gorillas twerk as a mating ritual. Good to know. That doesn't help the stereotype, does it? The fuck. Oh man. Where's my and it's probably not gonna be on there, is it? Oh, yeah, there it is. Sorry. Anyway, moving on.
Verified TikTok account, the one she made all her money from, got banned. Hundreds of thousands of dollars down the drain. She goes on TikTok, practically in tears, saying, yo, my verified TikTok got banned and I need help. Someone's impersonating me, copyright striking me, and they did it 20 times.
Y'all, my verified TikTok account got banned and I need help. Does anyone know anyone that like can help me with TikTok and can help me get all these copyright bans down? Because someone's impersonating to be me and they're copyright striking my account and they did it 20 times.
20 times. Stop doing what you're doing and maybe you wouldn't have to worry about it. Start actually contributing back into society, and maybe, just maybe, people wouldn't hate you. Maybe. Technically, dancing has always been foreplay. It was just more artistic and beautiful and left more to the imagination. That's fair, Mr. B. That is actually very fair. It's always had that allure to it. And yeah, Apprentice, fair enough. And that's the thing is, again, all of these TikTok dances and things like that, like Apprentice had said, they're either for a humiliation ritual or their foreplay. And so anytime that you're dancing, you are essentially driving people to do things that they shouldn't want to do right then.
And it banned my account. So can someone help me? My verified account is gone. I got all these little notifications. Your account is banned, blah, blah, blah. Copyright claim, copyright claim, copyright claim. More copyright claims. Like the list goes on and on and on. And it was removed because it infringes on someone else's copyright. So someone is impersonating me and then trying to take down my main account. So I just need help. Does anyone know anyone? Please DM me, let me know. I just need help, please.
She scrolls through her phone, showing the list of copyright claims like it's some kind of injustice. Your account is banned. Copyright claim, copyright claim. She's acting like it's some conspiracy to silence her when in reality, maybe the universe just had enough of her nonsense.
Is that what I need to do every time I get a copyright claim? Just go online and start booming about it? Somebody's trying to take me down. Is that going to help me? Probably not. I don't know why it differs between men and women so much. Apprentice. Okay, so maybe not foreplay, but what's the political correct term for socially acceptable public dry humping? Yeah, for real though. I don't know if I can say that, I guess, because he, but Yeah, that word.
It was the first time she actually looked nervous, because without TikTok, her whole brand collapses. Her innocent girl pipeline to OnlyFans was cut off. No TikTok, no traffic, no millions.
Yeah, because again, TikTok is where everybody seems to be, right? All of the kids seem to be on TikTok nowadays. So that's where you can funnel all of them from your TikTok and your Instagram to your OF, because that's where the money is being made, right? And we'll talk about that here in just a minute or two. Hopefully we'll get to that. It looks like this is taking me longer to get through this than I had expected. JB says she should ask her dad for advice. Oh, wait. Fatherless behavior here, right? For real, though. Yeah, right, Apprentice. Yep. I've been kind of lax today. I'm not necessarily sure what's going on, but anyway.
But of course, the ban didn't last. She's already back with another account, 2 million followers strong, posting the same recycled thirst traps and pretending to be the victim. Because that's her whole brand now, victimhood.
Just victimhood. Oh, it's just me. They're just trying to take me down. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Being attacked. People don't understand me. The internet's bullying me. Nah, Sophie. The internet's just tired of your act. And don't even get me started on her virgin storyline. She's still out here swearing up and down she's never done anything, that she's pure, that people are just mean online. She even said, people think I have 1 to 100. But I'm a virgin. Girl, you're promoting an OnlyFans and sending shower videos to strangers. No one's judging your personal choices, but lying about them while preying on inappropriate audiences? Yeah, that's where it gets nasty.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is I would have not much, but I would have a little bit more respect for her if she were just come out and say that she's not a virgin, because come on. Again, this is not, and I understand that would wreck her whole brand, but like, come on. Who's honestly falling for this anymore, other than the simps that pay her constantly?
When you saw the hate and stuff you were getting, like what did you think? Because I saw you make like a TikTok or two.
Oh, because I don't know, honestly.
And again with the cope. I could be all off base. I don't know. But the way that she talks again, probably, I didn't do that. And then this right here, the way her body moves and things like this, she is lying here through her teeth and trying to play it off.
I didn't want people to, because I'm a virgin, like I didn't want people to think that that you hit, you know? It's just.
I get it. Okay.
She had to tell him what she was trying to play at so that he would understand that they're on a live and he's got to play it off too. Again, this is speculation from a potato, right? JB says, I'm a virgin, but you can pay me to put your flute in my one time at camp.
I get it.
It's like that started blowing up.
I get it. He says, yeah, again, speculations, but
I started getting worried for myself because then everyone was going to come at me.
Gotcha.
Saying I'm lying and stuff.
Okay, so you are a virgin.
Yes, I am.
All right. I believe you. The internet's probably not going.
Again, performative much? I don't know. Kyle, appreciate the engagement. It's funny and sad how naive the simps are. For real, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I used to be what you might consider a simp. I don't know. I try really hard to make sure that I'm not doing something just because it's a female. But we as men are meant to provide, right? So there's a certain level that we have to do, and then there's a line that we shouldn't frickin' do at all. And that's where we need to get back to that understanding of where that line is, because this has gotten out of control. This is ridiculous here.
But I believe.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, like, I get comments every day saying, like, how many bodies I have and stuff. And I'm like, no, I'm a virgin. And as soon as that came out, I'm like getting worried now that people aren't really going to believe me.
If you are one, what does it matter? I understand that your brand all depends upon it, but if you really are one, then it shouldn't matter. Hey, seriously, this is wild. This online thing it doesn't make sense to me here, really.
Yeah, I get you. Wait, so how many bodies do they think you have?
Oh my god, they range from 1 to 100 in the comments.
Wait, how old are you?
She tries to say she's only doing all this to clear her name, but the math ain't mathin'. You don't clear your name by doubling down on lies and manipulating your fan base. You do it by owning your actions, which she's never done. Instead, she just keeps playing innocent while her fans, many of them inappropriate audiences, defend her like she's being wrong. Then there's the infamous Spider-Man video. Sophie wore a Spider-Man costume for Halloween with a friend and hyped it up in multiple TikToks. People started speculating about the video, and even though Sophie claimed she wasn't doing anything explicit,
so she's claiming that she didn't do anything explicit, but she's, again, everything, including the dancing, is explicit. So what is happening in this video? I didn't watch it, so I don't know exactly what all happened, but it's concerning what is being pushed into the minds of that younger generation and what they can get away with, because regardless of what you're doing on this side of the camera, what they're seeing on that side of the camera is completely different, and that's because you're designing it to be that way. Kyle says it's all a figment of the simp's imagination. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. They just continue to dissuade themselves into believing that this all matters.
The hype already created confusion and drew attention. Her co-workers even went to her manager, claiming she was involved in content. Meanwhile, this video and others like it still end up in front of inappropriate audiences, which is exactly what makes this dangerous.
So again, that's the part that makes it dangerous. So the two girls sitting there and doing all those stupid little things that they just did is, again, pushing that I'm cute, I'm innocent, and it's going to be going into a view of this younger crowd that then they make $43 million a year, whatever this 304 is making currently.
The worst part is the absurd amount of money she's made from all of this. Sophie Rain reportedly pulled in over $80 million in the last 18 months, with $43 million in 2024 alone. That's right. While she's out here dressing up as Spider-Man and dangling content at audiences who shouldn't even know what OnlyFans is, she's racking up cash like she's some celebrity athlete. One of her top fans supposedly contributed nearly $5 million in a single year.
Like Kyle just said, it's all the figment of their imagination. This dude gave her $5 million. Why? What were you getting out of it? What are you ever going to get out of it? This is freaking stupid. Come on. JB says, wouldn't it be crazy if she has a kid? Right? Brian Atlas posted on April 20th or on April 1st, the April Fool's Day, right? He posted a picture of Sophie Rain and him pregnant with a kid, and obviously as an April Fool's joke, but it was funny as shit. And then Mr. B says, if you were a virgin, you wouldn't care. They won't believe I'm one. Exactly. That right there. I know I'm going to sound old as shit here, but in my day, we didn't care about losing our virginity, right? We as men, we wanted to lose it, but women, yeah, they wanted to keep it, but there's a big difference between like today and that need to be chaste for women. They don't care. So why does it matter to her? TVT, some dirty ass old man. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Million for content aimed at a fan base that includes inappropriate viewers.
Just so nervous. I'm paranoid like that because all of this could disappear tomorrow.
Okay.
If only.
$82 million doesn't disappear tomorrow.
$82 million doesn't disappear tomorrow. It can if you're stupid about it.
How much money she makes an hour?
You want to know?
$28,472. That's fucking insane.
Oh, this is a slow month. In July, she only made 3.4 million.
So my question is that guy her financial advisor? This guy here? I'm curious. So with that being said, we'll jump over to this video here. Because in this video, she finds out some interesting information. This was done 9 days ago. This was probably somebody that probably isn't the original poster of it because they have 38 subscribers. So I won't necessarily give them a shout out. But I did post all of these videos in the description below so you can check them out yourself if you want to. But this one here, they basically ask her what she's worth.
You know what your net worth is today?
No idea.
If you had to guess.
Probably like 5 million, 20 million,
No,
5
it
to
has
20, 5 to
No,
20.
it has to be more than that.
I don't know. Like, I'm not like.
So she made 42 million in 2024 alone. This was 9 days ago. So this is 2 years later. And she's saying that she's worth 5 to 20 million because she has no fucking clue what she has at her disposal. So with that being said, is this really a good career path for people to be getting into and not paying exorbitant amount into a sin tax like we're going to be discussing here in a few minutes, right?
That's why I pay someone to do all of my financial stuff for me. I don't know anything about this.
I was
going to
guess it has to be 50.
Okay. I was like 5 to 20 was my guess somewhere.
It has to be higher than that.
I pay a lot like in taxes though, so like I don't.
Yeah, but if you made
I don't have that much.
If you know, well, we do the math. I'm
Probably
basically taking
40.
your total income, subtracting taxes, subtracting living expenses and other discretionary spending.
Okay.
Then I'm adding in the fact that you've been investing the money an extra 15% over the last 2 years,
Okay.
which is on the conservative side of things.
Yeah, supposedly she's been paying somebody to invest this money for her. No, which is why I'm curious if it was that gentleman in the last video that we were just watching from 5 months ago that was laughing hysterically about how much she made and how much she's paying him, possibly. Is that who it was? Again, this is a potato speculating. I don't know the situation, nor do I care to dig into it. Really, this is just funny to me, and we'll get into the verses with Fishback here in just a few minutes. But
Mm-hmm.
And that takes me to 43.
Okay.
If I ask you what's your net,
I believe she's 19. Well, that was 9. So maybe 20, maybe 21 TBT. I don't know if she's even 21 yet. I think she's just 20. So doesn't even understand what she's doing in the world.
net worth, and you're saying between 5 and 20, that shows to me that you have no idea what's going on financially, which is like insane to me, because if you're grinding so hard to try to get to some place financially, like you could just spend a little extra time or even trade the time and work a little bit less, but spend a little bit of time understanding your finances, and that you'll make more money doing that. And it's not even close, like like 5 times more money doing that.
I literally have considered like taking a college course online. Just
You don't need to
on-
do that. You don't need to do that. Just pay us to do it. They go on to say, we'll talk to you about it after the stream, they say. Yeah, so that they can transfer that fraud that she's getting from him to them, right? But anyway, I found that funny. She just obviously doesn't know what she's getting, what she's bringing in, what's going out of her accounts. So this brings us to the sin tax, right? That was what was in the thumbnail. If you were watching my stream last Sunday, I believe I alluded to this. But this gentleman, James Fishback, is running for governor or something like that of Florida. And one of his points that he wants to run on is a sin tax on adult creators. And again, I do agree with this. If we're going to be doing something to start to take steps to shame them, we might as well utilize that $42 million at 21 million of that in taxes to put back into our infrastructure. If these people have millions of dollars, what was that, 8 million in 1 year from one subscriber she got? That could have gone to something a lot better than one streamer. Sure, she could have made some decent money still and still been absolutely ridiculously on top of things, right?
let's get to the sin tax. You've proposed a 50% sin tax on OnlyFans creators to discourage what you call immoral behavior. So just explain that.
Well, there was a time not too long ago in the United States of America where young girls aspired to be cooks and lawyers and reporters and doctors, and nowadays they are resigned to the fact that if they have an unexpected expense or they need to cover their rent or groceries, the quickest way for them to do that is being exploited by the OnlyFans platform. And so I respect women. I respect them enough to think that they are capable of anything they put their minds to, and I never want a woman in my state to be exploited by the online sex slavery that is OnlyFans. And that's why
yeah, I agree with that as well. Hey, Beatrix, welcome in. Appreciate the engagement. Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Wow, I got quite the internet issues here. So if I start to buffer and stuff, let me know, guys. I apologize in advance if it does. All right, so let's see. Hey, Barn Diesel, made it. What's happening? Good to see you, Barn. I appreciate you, the engagement and the ranching that he does. He also has his own channel as well. Does shorts about his ranching and his experiences. So check his channel out. He's got some good content there too. And what's happening is we're talking about the sin tax now that this James Fishback is proposing for Florida.
I thought it was a voluntary platform.
It's not. There's nothing voluntary about a platform that exploits women and forces them to sell nude photos on the internet. Piers.
When you say
this is a
force,
classic
again,
case.
just to be clear about what OnlyFans is, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding about OnlyFans is it's voluntary. No one's forcing you to do it. People go on OnlyFans, create an account, and they charge money for whatever they want to put on their account. I'm not sure where the exploitation element, as you're articulating it, is.
Well, this is often the defense of sex trafficking, that a 15-year-old girl is voluntarily
hang on. Sex
entering.
trafficking is illegal.
And I believe that OnlyFans should be illegal as well.
Really?
There's nothing
Why? What
voluntary.
law
I think it's funny. Oh, that's illegal. That's illegal. But yet, when they legalize corn in the area, the sex that kind of trafficking shoots through the roof. It doesn't make sense. So if it's illegal, then why can't we make pornography illegal to bring both of them down, right? Yeah, JB, she made how much money? Maybe I should start an OnlyFans, right? Or OnlyFriends, right? Yeah, I've been tempted. Not really. I won't ever do that, but oh man, the money that these girls make is kind of ridiculous.
Breaking.
Well, there's nothing. Well, I would change the law. I would change the law. That's how we do things. I mean, slavery wasn't illegal, and then we said this is a moral repugnancy.
But who's enslaving people on OnlyFans?
And we changed the law.
I'm really curious.
Enslaving.
I don't. Maybe you've consumed a lot more OnlyFans content than me, and you see.
I've never.
I don't know if that's possible there, Piers, from the way you talk. Beatrix, hi, Potato Overlord. I don't know about an overlord, but I appreciate you being here for sure. Barn Diesel says, I'm for it. I wish they would remove the First Amendment protections from corn so it could get banned. I agree. I agree with you fully. I don't know if you were here earlier, but I agree with that because imagery is not speech. I don't understand how imagery, how you can be it's not like you can go out and start being clothless in public and say that that's what you identify with or something like that, because that's not legal. So imagery, it should be something completely separate than speech, than speaking your mind. Barn, JB, nobody wants to see that dirty tarantula. Yeah, that's where I'm at. That's part of the reason why I haven't been there. Anyway, I can't stand Piers either.
And everything else, but I'm not aware that is what OnlyFans is. It has a lot of adult content, but legal adult content, which is monitored according to the law, and that people who have accounts there do so voluntarily. They open accounts and they charge money. We have somebody I'm going to bring in a moment, Sophie Rain, who has made $43 million from her account on OnlyFans. I don't think she's been enslaved or exploited. I think she's perfectly happy and enjoys what she does. I mean, I'll talk to her in a moment, but why do you feel she's a slave?
So I feel that this is a classic case of Stockholm syndrome, where the individual, the victim, the enslaved person doesn't feel that they have real agency. This goes back to Sociology 101, Piers.
Well, and they constantly say, I had to do it, right? I couldn't do anything else. This is the only thing that I could find. So yeah, I would kind of agree with Fishback here. Beatrix, boss potato. I guess potato boss. I guess that'd be all right. I'm just not an overlord. I'm not. You know, I'm not the lord. He is, and he is the only one. But I'll take boss potato or potato boss, however you want to call me, I guess. Isn't Piers in a cuckold relationship with his wife? That kind of relationship doesn't develop with the man not watching corn. And that's exactly it right there. Is I'm positive that he is in that kind of relationship with the pool boy or something like that. I've heard on multiple occasions. So Francis, yeah, dictator. Yeah, that's it. I'm a dictator. Anyway, Big Papa Spud. Barn. You're right.
Someone is induced to believing they have choice, they have agency, when in fact they can't make a decision for themselves. I want young girls in my state to aspire to be astronauts, doctors, nurses, small business owners. I believe
if they're going to be going out into the workforce, they should be going out for a good reason. Doctors, nurses, something like that. They do have a good mind to them a lot of the time in certain areas. So, some things, sure, but not going out there and becoming corn stars. Top potato, right? Blood. Yeah, that's pretty good one. They call me tater salad. Exactly. That's right. Tater salad.
radical thing that women can do anything they put their minds to, Piers, and I don't want them resigned.
So do you think, just to be clear, do you think modeling is modeling to you immoral?
I think naked modeling, however you want to euphemize it, naked modeling is immoral.
I mean,
absolutely.
Cindy Crawford was one of the greatest iconic supermodels of all time. She's done naked modeling. So is she a sinner? Is she immoral? Should she be?
Yes. If she was naked, yes. And even the G-string thongs, the bathing suits, I don't know if I agree with those either. To show that hole is not necessarily moral.
Paying 50% back of her income?
Well, in that particular act of modeling, yes, and modeling nude, but you and I both know that Cindy Crawford was not known for her nude modeling. She was predominantly known for modeling for runway shows.
So should we retrospectively go back to every supermodel who's ever posed nude and get 50% back of their income from those pictures?
Yeah, Blood. If I was in Florida, I think he's in Florida. If I was in Florida, I think I would probably vote for him. Just for the 50% sin tax. I'm not gonna lie. I think it should be 69, but 69. It would just work out so well, right?
As much as I'd love to do that, that's not legally possible. What I'm going to do is I'm going to raise an OnlyFans sin tax.
Why do you have a problem with women's naked bodies, James?
By the way, Piers, you keep talking about women. There are thousands of men on OnlyFans, and this is going to apply just as equally.
Yeah, exactly. That's the biggest thing right there, is this applies to all of them. If you are doing this stupid OF content that is men-centered and they're doing their thing too, you should be charged as well. If you're making money on the sin of OF, you should be charged the sin tax, regardless of your sex, your gender, your age, or whatever.
Equally to them. And so you're the one selectively outraged about women.
That's a very good point. It's a very good point.
If you're a man or a woman producing or consuming this content, and by the way, Piers, what you haven't brought up is that as governor, I would also levy a consumption tax. I'm not going to spare the men in this equation as well. If you're a young man and you're watching.
Yeah, I agree with that, Apprentice. I don't know how I feel about the tax. If we're going to be if we're going to be taking steps toward that, the tax would be a decent step toward it. If we're going to just go for it, let's just fucking ban it. Because again, it's not like drinking where we abolish drinking. You can't die from not having the corn. It's only going to be beneficial. It's not going to be a detriment like the prohibition might have been or was for a lot of people. But I'd rather have the government get the heck out of our businesses and we all collectively shut them down out of lack of customers. I agree with you, like I said, but unfortunately there are a lot of people out there that they don't have the self-control, and that's, where we as people have to start calling each other to account, right? But as my dear mother always said, wish one in one hand and in the other, or spit in the other. Yeah, Apprentice. My family used to say that line as well, and see which one fills up faster. Yep. TVT never gonna happen. Yeah, unfortunately. But that's what we need to get back to, is we need to start pushing for each other to hold each other accountable.
Pornography, put down the phone, go to church, pray, and find a real God-fearing woman. Society is not going to be dictated by men and women commodifying and using one another in these ephemeral social relationships. No, it's not transactional sex. It is a romantic experience that is reserved for a man and a woman in the sanctity of marriage.
Okay, well, look, why don't we just...
Yeah, and I agree with that as well, 110%. It should not be for just enjoyment. Yes, it is enjoyable, and yes, I enjoy it too. I'm not going to fucking lie. But it shouldn't be just enjoyment. It should be for a purpose, and that purpose is procreation, recreation of the species, of our lineage. TVT, my pastor just said today that they need to bring back the death penalty. I was very surprised at hearing that. That is interesting, and I agree with it. We need to be more for the ones that deserve it, right? The appeals process and all of this other shit that they get to go through and continue to live on our dime for so freaking long, it's got to stop somehow. I'm not sure exactly how we can do that, but because I don't want to be condemning people that shouldn't be being condemned. But that's why it goes back to the biblical thing, and each society, each community goes to that person and tries to help them individually and not on a mass scale. TVT says, my church is also awesome, so based. That's good. If you refuse to reform, we shouldn't be required to support you for the rest of your life. Exactly, Apprentice. Exactly. If you refuse to reform, we should not be required to support you for the rest of your life. A little louder for the ones in the back.
Bring in Sophie Rain. Just hang on there, Jade, because it can be quite interesting to have you guys talk to each other. So, Sophie, welcome to Uncensored.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You have 4.5.
She looks so scared. Her eyes are like freaking, bing! Like, oh my God.
Well, there are 4.5 million OnlyFans creators. You are, I think, the highest earner. It's claimed that you've made $43 million. You've got 8.5 million Instagram followers, 14 million on TikTok. So you're a massive social media phenomenon. For those who are not familiar with your work.
Yeah, I might have skipped over it because it's when she's being introduced, but she talks about how she makes money off of TikTok, Instagram, and OF. And it's like you listed the ones that you don't make money off of first because you know that nobody has any respect for the money that you make off of OF. So you have to try to make it sound like you're an actual person worth anything by saying that you're on other platforms before you say OF. And that's just, again, it's these stupid little tactics these leftists do.
How would you describe it?
Well, I post on many platforms. I post content on Instagram. I post content on TikTok and all the above. And I also post content on OnlyFans. And honestly, I do a little bit of everything.
Again, trying to squeeze that OF in there and then shoot on to another topic so that she doesn't look bad when she's on a live in front of millions and millions of people. She is an OF creator. That's it. The only reason she's on other platforms is to direct people to that OF. That's all.
I do little dancing TikTok videos. I'll post Instagram photos. And then obviously my OnlyFans content.
And would you describe it as pornographic, or what would you describe it as?
I mean, I wouldn't describe it as pornographic, but it's definitely adult content for sure.
Then it's pornographic. If it's adult content, if you can consider it adult content, it is adult content. Stop beating around the bush.
So what do you feel about James Fishback and his plan to tax you 50% as a sin tax for being a sinner?
I mean, I'm going to be honest, it's ridiculous. It's very...
That's fair, Blood Logos. I didn't necessarily mean to say leftists. I meant to say OF creators. So yeah, I appreciate you calling me out on that, because that's not what I meant to say. As I was saying, I was like, that's not what I meant to say, but I appreciate the correction.
Ridiculous. Florida already has no income state tax. It doesn't exist. So it seems very selective, and it seems like it's a punishment.
She's so nervous. It just seems like it's a punishment. Please don't punish me. I have the most money in the world. I'm becoming the next Jeff Bezos in my own right. Come on. You don't need that much money. What are you doing with your life?
There, James. Are you there, James? Yeah, you are. I mean, Sophie says that that she feels like this is a punishment. Why are you punishing her?
Well, hey, Sophie, good to meet you. It's not a punishment at all. What it is a deterrent. I think Sophie recognizes that our state was better off when young women aspired to be teachers, small business owners, doctors, and lawyers, as opposed to creating adult content. I can respect Sophie Rain as an individual and still respectfully call out that I don't want thousands of young women who are in high school today to feel like the only way they can make a living when they graduate is selling adult content, video, photos of themselves on the internet. And so, Sophie, look, with all due respect, I know you're from Florida. I'm from Florida. We both love our state. I want what's best for you, and I want what's best for every single woman in our state, and that's not to be objectified and exploited by the OnlyFans owners.
Sophie, what's your response to that?
I feel like as adults, we are all able to legally make our own decisions. And I think that we should also educate a lot more on all of these opportunities that you're speaking of, because I just don't think that we should be singling out any individual for what they choose to do.
James?
Well, I want to single out drug dealers, Sophie. I want to single out people who are committing crimes in our society. And so as governor, my responsibility is very simple. I want to make sure that there is a path. I'm not going to be one of those Republicans.
Yeah. And that's just it is I want to single out people who unalive people. I want to single out the traffickers and the traffickers of other sorts. And I want to single people out. So what is the difference between the singling of that and the singling of this, right? Whatever form it takes, taxes or otherwise, it absolutely needs to be punished. Exactly, Apprentice. And that's the thing, is if we can't just jump to the end result of getting rid of it completely, then just tax it so that it becomes a shamed thing so they don't as likely start it. Barn Diesel, I was curious and just looked it up. Corn falls under expression, which of the 5 protections of the First Amendment is freedom of press instead of freedom of speech. Freedom of press. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, and that's the thing, is I'm pretty sure frickin' Piers even says he's viewed her content. Like, it is freaking disgusting. Piers probably DM'd her after this. Yeah, I'm afraid that's probably exactly what happened. Let's see. Beatrix says, aren't they the same people that want wealth distribution unless it's them? Right? Eat the rich. Now we're like, oh, no, don't eat us. Yeah, exactly. JB, these girls grow up being called pretty, getting whatever they want from their looks. They are multimillionaires now. I mean, it's not from what I would do, but it's true. But they come from middle class homes. This girl, she's not from a low end home. I mean, these people don't get the fame from just out of nowhere. It's not like somebody in my little town would just be able to just pick up a camera and become Sophie Rain. This girl had some kind of something behind her to get where she is. Peach on a Leash. It's insane how much money she makes. Meanwhile, my husband, who is a sewer and drain technician, preventing only the plague. So many jobs that are more important, essentially, during pandemic. Exactly. So many other jobs that are more important that a female could be doing to put back into civilization. Instead, we have this, which is degrading civilization. Degeneracy is anything away from the ideal, and this is not ideal. Barn Diesel Piers called looking at her content necessary for his journalism. Yeah. How convenient for him. Yeah, Apprentice, exactly. There's no way that you can be a virgin and be sexualized, be a sexualized person. TVT, I agree. That's just it. It takes progression. So for her to be in this position and not be like, there's no way. I don't believe it. He's hoping she does the cuckold content. Yeah, I'm afraid. Blood Logos, I'm afraid that's exactly what it is. And again, going back to the comment about whoever has a thing for her is sus for underage. I mean, she still looks pretty young.
Committing any crime. Women. And it seems to me that your initial assertions before we spoke to Sophie, that she was, that people like her on OnlyFans are enslaved, they're being exploited. And then you do an analogy just now to drugs and whatever, which are illegal, obviously. Nothing she's doing is illegal. It seems to be entirely of her own free will. She's very happy doing it.
Let's make it illegal. How about that, Piers? You freaking simp. Holy shit.
Popular doing it. Under the First Amendment...
Well, have you asked her that, Piers? Have you asked her if she's happy?
Under the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, what business is it of yours to stick your oar in and want 50% of her cash?
No.
That's a good point, TVT. Didn't really think of it like that, but it without thinking of it, without thinking of it in so many words. But yeah, if you don't have it, you don't know what sexualization really is. You can't be as sexualizing if you've never been that way. By definition, it's exploitation. Exactly. Blood Logos. Exactly. So how is it not illegal? How is what she's doing not illegal already? Let alone let's freaking illegalize it. Get it done. She looks even younger in this interview. I wonder if she did that on purpose. She probably got a lot of new subscribers after this interview. Don't call it art. Yeah, unfortunately. Probably you're right. Damn.
Piers, did you ask her if she was happy? Because she posted a video 2 weeks ago on International Women's Day where she was interviewing her former self, who looked to be disappointed, who aspired to be, quite literally, in Sophie Rain's own words, an astronaut. Sophie, you are smart. I know you. I know your family. You are capable of anything you put your mind to. And so when you're doing this little cute Spider-Man dance online and you're creating this adult content, know that that person that you used to be still wants something more out of you. And I, as the governor of the state, want every single woman in Florida to achieve their maximum potential.
And that's the best thing that, honestly, from a governor to say that is the best thing that he could have said. It's not like he's trying to make the state rich. He's not trying to make the government rich by doing the 50% syntax. He is just trying to get the women to be their best selves, and that is something to be respected. Barn Diesel says, TVT, I think you can at this point, because of how much sexualization there is across the whole internet and media as a whole. Yeah, that's fair. And then TVT, I think you need the experience to be able to portray that properly. I agree. And that's the thing. Again, going back to Brian on the Whatever podcast, he says it's a progression. And this isn't appealing to Brian. It's something that I've also noticed myself. But he mentions it. And so I will go back to giving credit where credit is due. And it is a progression. You don't just wake up one morning and say you're going to start doing a harder drug. You start out with something smaller. Start out with corn before you do this kind of stuff. So either she had a corn background or she has a sexualized background. Or 100 encounters. Yeah, blood logos. TVT, I would imagine she's had at least one encounter, even there was no penetration. That's fair. Or 100 encounters. Anyway.
Sophie?
I mean, I think just realistically speaking, I'm very happy with where I am, and I promise I would never.
But yet you're not. You're really not. You're just doing it for the camera. When it really boils down to it, in the middle of the night, in the corner of your bedroom or whatever, you're curled up in the fetal position crying because you don't have anything of worth in your life. All you have is the jets and the fake life that you keep pushing down our throats. Barn Diesel, yeah, that's certainly possible, and I'm not even saying I believe her. Just the oversaturation of Smex and everything else could show someone how to act serial, even if they haven't, smexual, even if they haven't ever experienced it. And that's fair point. And I'm not disagreeing with you there. She could be, but I doubt it. With the way that it's just how far along she's gotten, and I don't believe it.
I would have never got to where I am without the platform. Like, I've built businesses outside of this. I am constantly, chasing new dreams and everything. Like, I'm very happy with where I am.
Yeah, Sophie, you come from a devout Christian family, I understand. You grew up, by your own admission, pretty poor. The family didn't have much money, relied on food stamps as a child.
Yeah, bullshit. Food stamps. I don't know if I agree with if I believe that one. Maybe, but still, she came from a middle class home.
You were working as a waitress. You then went on OnlyFans. You said you got fired from your restaurant job and your boss discovered the account and so on. And now obviously you've become incredibly successful and rich doing this. What do your family make of your transition into this world?
They're actually very supportive of me. Definitely at first, they didn't really understand it and they were cautious of it. But I sat them down and I talked them through everything. I'm being safe. I'm doing everything legal. Like, I'm good. And they're very supportive of where I am.
Are you genuinely happy?
I am. I would have never.
Again, I am happy. I gave my parents a Ferrari, so they were okay with it. I threw them the keys to a new house, so they're okay with it. Apprentice, I'm super serial, you guys. Watch out. The man, bear, pig. Sorry, I couldn't resist. TVT, nobody is truly happy without Christ. He doesn't know these people. And that's exactly it. And Apprentice agrees with that. She's not happy. Like I said, there's no way in the middle of the night, she's curled up in her corner of her bedroom because she has nothing to really say that she's made a living, an actual living. Like, I'm sorry, but success is not in the money that we make. Success is the actions that we do and the things that they give back to the society that we live in to help build the other ones around us. Let's see. Want to get to here, so let's get over to the most played here.
I own my own house. Who at 21 can say that? Like, this has gave.
there's a lot of people at 21 that can say that. They've actually worked their life away to do it, but they can say it. They just haven't gone the easy route and shown their butthole online for the millions of dollars that they have. They've actually worked for it.
Gave me so much autonomy over my life, and I'm just so grateful for the platform because I wouldn't have been here, especially in today's economy.
Right, I mean, James Fishback, I'm thinking like of, say, the Kardashians.
Yeah, and that's just it, is your parents don't love you. There's no way that they actually are okay with this. You might have thrown them a keys to a new house, a new Ferrari, new whatever, but in the middle of the night, they're curled up in the corner in the fetal position, crying because they have failed you. They just don't want to admit it, right?
Single
Don't be
out.
disingenuous.
How do you work
you
out
single
who's
it
a
out
sinner
very
and who's
simply.
not, James? Are you going to be launching a sin purge? Are you?
And here again, going back to the Piers being a simp, just, what are you going to judge as a sin? Well, they already do now. There's a sin tax on alcohol. There's a sin tax on cigarettes. There's a sin tax on probably the other marijuana and all of the other extracurricular drugs out there because they're known to be a sin, and we are built off of Christian morals. Let's just put it how it is, right? The great country of America was basically built off of Christian values and morals. So the sins, according to the Bible, are what we're talking about. Piers. Such a cuck. Yeah, dude. Such a cuck. Apprentice Christian is another term that has been co-opted by the left. I agree. Barnes says, TVT, I would say no, they are no longer devout and are now those paper liberal Christians. Yeah, those sewing circles. My point is, Barn, they are not walking with Christ if they support her. TVT, I agree with you. And then Barn says, Christians in name only, not conviction and actuality. Yeah, Christians in name only. And I won't necessarily say the name that I've made up for it because it's kind of a slur. But you get what I'm saying at, Kind of like rhinos. Yeah, that.
How are you going to do this?
Well, we're going to put you in charge of it, Piers. And so
I
the way you do it is...
have a very broad mind, James. I think if people are obeying the law, they can do what they like with their own lives. What's it got to do with you?
You know what? So what do you say then? Because prior to slavery being illegal, they were obeying their law. They owned 100 black people. Does that make it okay? Of course not. Let me get to the very specific point that I think Sophie made in good faith.
Why do you think she's a slave? You have, of all the arguments you've used,
that's called an analogy.
Some of the points you've made have validity. But this idea that somehow Sophie is some sort of slave, I'm just not buying that.
Look, Sophie may not be a slave. She hasn't made $43 million. Don't lowball her. She's made over $100 million. When I talk to young women...
Over $100 million. Yeah, going back to that podcast that I just showed you, she doesn't even know her own value. She does not even know what she makes because it's going out the door as fast as it's coming in. The one that pays her, that she gives all of her money to, pays her $5,000 a month. That's it. That's all she gets. So all of that money is going out where she doesn't even know about it. So again, what's going to be the problem if they're to pay 50% in freaking taxes? Honestly, maybe you would finally persuade the women that only make $200 a month to stop trying to do it. It's not worth it. What do you gain if you sell your soul for the world, right? What does one man gain if he gains the whole world but at the cost of his soul? It's just not the way that it should be. He calls himself a Catholic and then acts like this. Makes total sense. Frickin' Catholics. Yeah, TVD. Fishback is Catholic, is he? I'm not sure. Blood Logos. Somebody needs to tell Piers that simpin' ain't pimpin'. That's funny. Exactly. And yes, Mr. B, that's what I was referring to. But I've heard it's a slur, so I don't necessarily want to say it. Barn Diesel says, and that's, she's not gonna bang him, so stop white knighting. Yeah, if she's really a virgin, what's the fucking point of simping for her? Dumbass. Catholics are known for their license to sin. Interesting. Oh, thanks, Blood Logos. Yes, he is Catholic. Fair. Not all Catholics, but a lot. Okay, fair enough.
Is that right, Sophie?
That is correct, yes.
You've made over $100 million.
In a span of
Sophie-
2 years, yes.
Sophie, if you
She just had to add that stupid fucking little point. In the span of 2 years. So, in other words, in the span of 2 years, there have been way too many simps that have spent too much fucking money on somebody that doesn't even put anything out to them at all other than fucking eye candy. What the I'm tired of it, guys. Tired of it.
want to be my running bait and be the lieutenant governor of Florida, it'll cost you $10 million. You'd be happy to do it. I'd be honored to have you.
Sophie?
No.
Sounds like a steal. Sounds like a steal. 10 million, or you let him win without being his running mate, and then he takes half of that 100 million. So 50 million or 10 million sounds like a steal to me.
I don't think so.
You just gotta quit- you just gotta quit
Out of
OnlyFans.
interest, Sophie, I have to say, I mean this with no disrespect.
Thank you, Barn. Appreciate that feedback as well. Piers calls himself Catholic too, and then has a cuckold relationship with his wife, and is happy about it from what I'm understanding.
But I'm not aware, I haven't viewed your work. What is it that makes you
Fair
so
enough.
popular?
I think that I'm just very transparent with my audience. I'm never over
Transparent? What the
here encouraging people to try and join the site. I'm very clear on the pros and cons of it also. But
Yeah, of course she's not going to be having people join the site. Then it's direct competition. Of course she's going to keep people in her to her bop house where she's controlling the money. But she's bringing it into people into the bop house as much as she possibly can. Again, Piper Raquel.
I'm just very transparent.
So then hold on,
and
what
I
are
put out
the
my life.
cons? Then what are the cons? What is a con? Let's be transparent. What is a con of joining
I mean, exactly like you
OnlyFans?
said, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that OnlyFans is a great site. Some of the points you are making are correct. Like, it's
Perfect.
damaging to the future. And I want people to understand and educate themselves, but women still should be able to make that decision for themselves at the end of the day. And they shouldn't have to worry about
Sophie, if you had a, Sophie, if you had
I'm
a, if
raising
you had
a tax to disincentivize and deter it. I'm not banning it.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That is what he's doing. Sophie, if you had a daughter, would you want her to do what you're doing?
I mean, I would let her decide. It's up to her decision.
But do you think as a mother you would want that?
I think that I would be supportive of it no matter what. Yes.
Again, I think she's lying, but she's got to do that for the camera, because if she were to go out and absolutely say, yeah, I wouldn't have my daughter do this, then she would look like a hypocrite, because she is. Who in their right mind would allow their daughter to do this? Because anything could end up happening. Again, I don't believe that she's a virgin, but if she is, this is going to push her into not being, because eventually it's going to dry up. The people are going to get tired of not seeing more, because that's what corn does, period.
Sophie, would you be supportive of your son selling crack cocaine?
No, that is illegal.
So, come on. JB, transparent? Yeah, they've seen all of it. Good point. Good point.
Right.
Okay, so why what is this difference between legal and illegal? Why can't we just say it's moral or immoral?
Because
there are
one's legal and
societies
one's
where
Because then where do you draw the line? Where do you draw
Okay,
the
let me
line? A
ask
lot
you.
of people
Let
have
me ask
different
you. In
opinions.
Afghanistan, you can marry an 8-year-old. It is quite literally legal in Afghanistan to marry an 8-year-old. And so does that make it right, Sophie?
We don't live in Afghanistan.
We don't live in Afghanistan. Oh, I don't have a good retort to that, so I'm just going to play it off like we don't live there, so it doesn't matter. I'm really curious on what her takes on force doctrine are. If she really thinks that the group collective believe that this is actually okay. Mr. B, let her do it. It isn't want her to. Let her do it isn't what want her to. That's very specific wording. Yeah. Again, the wording that she's had this whole episode I probably wouldn't have sent them. That's not something I did. I didn't do that. And just the way that she's been talking, she is a liar. We have got to get Fishback into position so he can start taxing 50% of their income, man. TVT. I argued with my mom about this blood logo. She feels women can minister. Ew, that's not good. Apprentice, bold of you to assume she has logical thoughts on anything. True. Touche, apprentice, touche. It took me 6 churches to find one who follows the proper strict scripture. Women should be silent in church. Sorry, logical is even pushing it. Apprentice, yeah, I get you. So yeah, I don't know exactly what we should be doing here because it just needs to be banned. OF in general should never even been started, let alone mainstream being banned.
What are you
Sophie,
talking about?
It's an analogy. It's an analogy. It's an analogy.
Yeah, how would you have felt if you didn't have breakfast this morning, right? I'm curious what her answer to that would have been.
Ridiculous analogy. You're choosing a country with totally different laws. In the United States of America, Sophie Rain,
prior to slavery being
obeys
illegal,
the same laws that you do, James.
No, Piers. Prior to slavery being illegal, would you have opposed slavery because it was legal? It was legal, Piers. It's okay if it's legal, right?
Oh, where is it? Where is it? Oh, hold on, guys. There it is. All right, you can stop now. Jeez, that went on forever. Sorry, guys.
Sophie?
Oh, you're asking me? I mean, I didn't live back then. I'm just here to talk about what we are here to talk about, which is syntax, and it's a
Of course you didn't
selective.
live back then, Sophie. Of course you didn't. This is my issue. I'm here to have a good faith conversation with a former Florida resident. A current devise and deter it.
Sorry. Apprentice, that's funny. Oh, shoot, that's funny. Not sure where I jumped back to there.
This debate. Here's what I would say. I've listened to both of you, and you've both made good points. But honestly, that last statement you made was so...
You've both made good points. I've got to keep my simping.
Pompous
Why
and
wait,
patronizing. Honestly, who are you to be the great moral arbiter of what young women do with themselves legally in the United States? Who are you to say if you become governor, you're going to take half her money in a state where they don't have even state income tax? It's like there's a real arrogance to this, that you've decided you are the moral arbiter of every Floridian. And it may be why you're trailing.
He's not even claiming to be the moral arbiter. He's claiming to use the moral objectification of the moral standards of the United States. This is ridiculous, Piers. Come on. And he's getting all aggressive with it. Like,
so badly in the polls. And Sophie, the good news for you is don't worry about it because he's not going to win. So you're not going to end up giving Mr. Fishback any money for his plans, much as it would be great to put more money into teachers in public schools. Of course it would be. But it won't be coming from you, Sophie Rain, because he ain't going to win.
I have to stick it one more time. You ain't going to have to worry about it, Sophie. Don't worry about it. I got you. It's not going to happen. Yeah, Blood Logos. This girl is way out of her league debating this guy. She's way out of her league in general, let alone if she would actually go up into an actual debate with anybody. Yeah, acting innocent is not innocent. The way that she acts should tell you all that you need to know, honestly. Moral, ethical framework. Exactly, Abe. All right.
Well, if I'm not going to win, Sophie Rain can put a $5 million bet on Polymarket tonight that I'm not going to win. She'll make a lot of money. What I will tell you, Piers, is the same error.
Yeah, dude, TVT, exactly. Look how mad, how aggressive he's getting with it. Don't worry about it, Sophie. It won't happen. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I've got to try to say it like that so that I make myself feel better, too, because I can't do without your content.
The same arrogance.
Sophie doesn't need the money, but I might do that so that I can become as wealthy as Sophie Rain.
And that's where it all boils down to. He's hoping that his wife will come around and start doing the content for them to make the money off of. or that he'll find a Sophie of his own or some stupid shit, and he wants to keep it around so that he can start making money off of it. What a putz. Don't call it art. Piers after the show. Sophie, I can guarantee that he will never be elected, but there's something you must do for me. Yeah, don't call it art. Exactly. That's funny. Abe Dinkus, blood, she is out of her league in being human. Agreed. If she can only make it in this field, she's out of her league as a
arrogance that said that Donald Trump could never win, that Zohran Mamdani could never win. Why don't you come to Florida and come to one of our rallies where we're drawing crowds larger than anyone else in this race?
Let me tell you, I was
the
the lone voice in the UK who confidently predicted Donald Trump would win in 2016. And you know why I knew he'd win? Because I'd been down interviewing serial killers in Florida. And
yes, I predicted Trump being elected so that I have the authority to say that you won't be elected, even though you're drawing bigger crowds than anyone else. Like, I do hope that Fishback here gets some good backing. If nothing else, hopefully it will show the other states that he had some good backing with that particular running point. I hope he wins. I hope that he gets it. And I hope he keeps his promise and he charges 15% of their wages. Again, I think it should be 69 or higher. I think we should really stick it to them if we're going to be doing the tax at all. I think, again, I am one for banning it out and out, right? I'm not one for having it as something that people can pay exorbitant amounts of money for and they can still get it. I think it just still needs to be out, gone, poof, like the wind. It is no longer needed in society. It never was needed in society. Mr. B says he can't justify his marriage if corn was a bad thing. That's exactly it. Yep. Piers is not a religious man, folks. TVT. Yeah, don't be fooled. Or I should say religious man. That's a righteous man. There we go. Sorry. That was my bad. Yeah, exactly. Mr. B says, was that an appeal to authority fallacy there, Piers? Exactly. I was the one who claimed that Trump was going to get it, so I can claim that you're not going to get it. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Bandit. Good to see you, man. Appreciate the engagement. About to wrap up here before too much longer, but I appreciate you being here for the last little bit here. She only got to keep 15% of her money. That'd still be $15 million. And that's exactly it right there. Don't call it art. That's why I say it should be higher. 69% is just a joke, honestly. But I think it should be up in the 80s, 90%, 15% you get to keep. 85% you to pay in taxes because it's the sin tax, because you don't want to be doing it. We shouldn't want you to be doing it.
I could feel the Trump train surging and the Hillary train hitting the buffers. So my political instincts are very good. And I'm afraid the way the polls look at the moment, James Fishback, to quote my favourite phrase, you have two hopes, no hope and Bob hope. But miracles can happen in politics, and I wish you all the best. Sophie Rain, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I wish you continued success. I think women should better do what they want with themselves, as long as it's within the confines of the law.
Within the confines of the law. That's why we need to make it illegal. Because, again, imagery should not be a freedom of speech thing. The freedom of press does make sense that you can press out a freaking picture, but that is where it shouldn't have ever gotten. You shouldn't be able to print certain things. The depicting of someone being unalived, I didn't realize that was something that was okay other than on the black market for the longest time. So why is it okay that we do this kind of thing out in the public and literally out in public? There are so many stories I can show you guys about people doing this degenerate stuff in public at these rallies, at these parades, that they're not even supposed to be doing them at the parade, but they still get away with it. The parade doesn't stop them from doing it. What the frick, right? Bandit says, I don't know who we're talking about, but high taxes bad. Well, I agree with that, Bandit. So the only reason that we're talking about taxes is the sin tax, the tax on the OF. Now, with that being said, every time we implement a tax, it doesn't just stay as that tax. It trickles downhill, as it always does. They start charging more for their content, whatever. So I don't agree with them taxing this. I agree with them just banning the fucking shit out of it. Pardon my French this episode, guys. I've been kind of swearing it up because I am fucking tired of it. Let's just face it. We need to just ban it entirely. Don't call it art. It's freedom of speech, not freedom of peach. I agree with that entirely. It should be a freedom to speak your mind, but not to just show everything that you want to show and call it a freedom of speech. My freedom of speech. Every time I see Piers, I want to watch Alex Jones scream 1776 at him. Blood logos. That's funny. Right? Oh, Alex Jones, that poor guy. I feel so bad for him currently. He's been such a good outspoken person for a long time, and he's just being treated like shit. Barn Diesel says, Bandit, they are talking about sin taxing corn OF. And Bandit Girl is a OF supposed virgin model who makes millions. I can argue for freedom of imagery being freedom of speech without defending degens, Bandit. That's an interesting take. I'm curious on if we would want to do that as a debate sometime, or just an open panel. And if you haven't joined my channel, please join it. The Discord, please join the Discord. We have open panels on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where anyone is welcome to join. It is taking place on the Discord for now. I'm trying to get other ways of doing the panel so that we're not having to do it on Discord. But please feel free to bring subjects to the panel as well. I'm willing to have anything talked about on the panels. I usually have prompts at start, but anything kind of goes. Another problem with a syntax solution here is we are prepared to pay the same on alcohol, tobacco. What's the odds they level it at firearms since they haven't succeeded in taking them? And that's exactly it right there, Prentice, is once we can implement a tax, what kind of taxes are they going to push from there on out? And then with firearms especially, I'm not for any kind of restrictions on firearms at all. I'm a 2A advocate to the point where I believe that you should be able to own a rocket launcher if you have the money and the means to do so. I think that you should be able to own a F-15. If you have the money and the means to prove that you're not a violent threat to the country, I don't see a problem with it personally. Mr. B says, I think it would be hilarious if Alex came on to Piers and talked about Joe Rogan's lady parts like he did on Tim Pool. That's funny.
And so should you, James.
We're going to change the law, and we are going to change the law, Piers.
Well, we'll see about that. If you win, you can try.
If I win, Sophie Rain's going to owe me $50 million. I'm going to raise teacher pay all over the state. That's what we're going to do, and we're going to proudly do it because in Florida, we don't let our women be exploited by OnlyFans degeneracy. We inspire them to be something more. And Sophie, there's still more time. There's still time left for you to quit OnlyFans and do something dignified. I say that with love.
And that's just it. Is there is still time to stop it. If you haven't actually done any actual explicit content, which I would probably disagree with, because I would think that even where he had to blur it out, that was explicit content. But if you haven't done anything to actually show anything, I would stop about while you're ahead, pay that $50 million to basically for the right to be in that field at all, and just go about your life. Like, really, get out of it while you still can. Any women that see this, get out of it.
Never attacked you personally. I truly want what's best for you and your family.
Sophie, let me answer that, because I think one of you will be quitting this year, their current job, and it won't be you, and it won't be me. I've got to leave it there. Thank you. Well, James, I've given you a good argument. You know what? Some of the points you made were perfectly valid points. I don't think I would want my daughter, for example, to be doing what Sophie's doing.
Piers, so then
So why would you want it to be okay? I wouldn't want my kids to do it. Rules for thee, but not for me. Like, what the fuck? Abe Dinkus, Blood, I wonder how I will be clipped from my Rob debate. Yeah, that was an interesting debate. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of it, but I did start it. I did try to send some people over to you. Was that on Friday, Abe? I missed it. I always watch Ortho Thugs and then Tony on Fridays. I'll have to check the replay. And Bandit says, I probably need to talk with you on it before making any kind of debate because I think as soon as I make my opening, you're going to be like, you either agree or it's irrelevant to the discussion. That's fair. Barn, white knighting isn't good for you, Piers. He's the same age as Rogan and looks like a bag of Play-Doh in comparison. That's fair. I didn't realize they were the same age. Yeah, Rogan is definitely in better shape than you, Piers.
Why can't you just say that without disparaging our supporters? Yeah, why can't you just say that without disparaging our supporters?
You don't have many supporters.
I don't. Well, who were the 500 people at the University of Florida last week, the largest political event in a decade since Hillary Clinton ran for president?
Let me bet. I'll bet you.
Piers, you're 3,000 miles away disparaging our supporters, hardworking people.
I have a home in the United States. I'm there all the time. I've worked and lived there for 20 years, so don't be patronising to me too. You've already been patronising enough to Sophie. Why don't we say this? I'll bet you...
Don't be patronising to me. It's my channel. I do what I want to. I don't get patronised. Dude, you needed to be patronized, bro. Simping like you just did. White knighting like you did for a 19-year-old. And how old are you, bro? Holy cow.
$10,000 to a charity of your choice. You do not win. Do you accept the bet?
Well, I want to know what the odds are because Polymarket wants to
just
give
me and you.
10 to 1.
Mano to mano.
At what odds? I get 10,000, you get 10,000. That's a 50-50
man
bet,
against
Piers.
Mr. Perfect. Let's have a little 10 grand bet to charity on camera.
Sure.
Hey, news, views, and truth. Appreciate the engagement. Don't know if I've ever seen you before. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. And hope to keep you around. Appreciate the engagement, though. Trump had Rogan up for when he signed psychedelic experiments for veterans. Interesting. Trump had Rogan up for when he... Interesting. Abe, wow, so Piers hard defensive figures. Yeah, figures. So hard of defense for degens. Yeah, exactly. Figures. Yeah.
Camera, sure. I say you're going to lose. If you are this confident you're going to win, take the bet.
I'll take the bet if you give me $100,000. That's the 10 to 1 on Polymarket right now. If I win, you give me $100,000.
No, I'm not giving you odds. If you're not confident you can win, I understand it.
The odds are on Polymarket.
So you
right
accept
now,
the Polymarket's
Piers.
right, you're going to get shellacked. You accept.
Again, she looks so freaking scared. She is. Her eyes are just like bugging out of her head. She's like, oh my God. All my money and fame is on the line.
Piers, I look forward to everyone, including Sophie, voting on Election Day, August 18th.
James, I'll give you one last chance. If you genuinely think you're going to win $10,000 to charity of both our choices, the winner chooses which charity. Do you accept my bet? I say you're going to lose. You say you're going to win.
Limits on what charity, Piers, because I don't want you giving money to abortion clinics, Piers, or to
Mr.
Sud's daycare.
It would be the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund.
Or Mr. Sud's daycare. For real, though. For real.
I want the money to be specifically given to a pro-life charity.
It would go to. You can give it to any charity you want. I'll give mine when I win to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, which is the charity I supported when I won Celebrity Apprentice in America. So just to be clear, are you accepting my bet?
I think it's a fair bet, Piers.
Great. 10 grand to charity. When you lose, I'll come and get you back on the show, and we'll have you donating that to my charity. That would be great. Thank you both very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Piers.
Oh, that's funny. Mr. B, I mean, 69% tax is hilarious to me. It is to me too. That's why I keep saying it. Apprentice. Yeah, I've seen deer in headlights with smaller eyes than her. For real though, bro. For real. And you can see that she tries every so often to bring herself down. She's like, and then she'll like open those eyes back up. Like she's like, oh my God, I'm going to freaking die. It's so funny. Just the Shepherd. I was listening while building a chicken tractor. Just curious why everyone is hating on her so much. She seems nice and is trying to make a living. So if she was out there making a living, like trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, even as much as I hate lawyers, I'd have a lot of respect for her. The way that she's trying to make a living, though, is that she's trying to, it's like so again, this is a very Christian heavy community. And so we go back to the Bible, and in the Bible, it talks about not even, bringing men to sin, bringing your fellow people to sin. And that's essentially what she's doing, right? She's trying to push that degeneracy, whether she's pushing it for her own gain of that money, or if it's that she's trying to get a horde of people to get in to be part of her empire, right? It's really hard to tell. And yeah, Jess the Shepherd, I know that you're just joking, but it is a good question, right? Why are people just hating on her so much? Because she deserves it, essentially. As much as I hate to say it, because she could be a good community contributor, right? She could be. I'm sure she. The Fishback says that he knows her family at one point in time. Talks about how she could have done anything that she put her mind to. Now, I don't know if I agree with that, but definitely don't agree with every woman thinking that they need to be part of the OF scene for sure. So that's pretty much all I had for my stream. I have more that I want to cover. Like I said, I do want to get some feedback off of the Marte versus Circa debate that I moderated on Tyler TV. So if you haven't checked out Tyler TV, check out his channel. Go watch that debate. I will be loading it up as clips, videos, uploads this week in parts. Obviously, I don't want to upload the whole 3 hours and 40 minutes in one shot. People aren't going to want to watch that. So I'll probably load it up into like maybe hour increments, so it's not quite as much, but it's not like 6 different episodes of the same debate. But I would appreciate if anybody would actually watch those and then give me feedback on my moderation techniques. I am really new at it. I'm still trying to get the hang of it down. I let Circa interrupt way too many times. The biggest thing is at the intros, I give a 5-minute clarification back and forth. So you have 5 minutes to clarify your position, their position, and vice versa. Well, Circa, he was interrupting a lot during that portion, and the 5 minutes went like that. So I gave them more time. The reason I gave them more time was to basically expose Circa's position, to expose him like he did. I didn't expect it to be as sweet as it was, but literally in the next 2 minutes, he demolishes his own position in what he says. And that's part of the reason that I let him go on like he did. And then I wanted to give the view of not being biased, right? Because I knew that during the debate, I was going to have to cut in and basically school Circa on his position. And I didn't want it to look like I was just dogging on him the entire debate. So I am trying to get a little bit better. So again, I would appreciate any feedback that I can get off of that moderation of that, because all of the other debates that I have moderated so far have been really calm, cool, collected. They've been very respectful of each other in the debates. This is the first one that I've actually had to that I should have stepped in more and kept him from interrupting Marte as much as he did. Anyway, so again, I do believe that we need to be banning corn. We need to get away from the degeneracy. I've made it very clear up till this point, and I'll continue to say it. I am very degenerate fatigued. All of it. Doesn't matter what it is. If you want to consider it a fatigue, it's probably incorporated in the degeneracy fatigue that I've mentioned. And with that being said, I appreciate the engagement here. So let's see. Bandit says, I'm still trying to wrap my head around her being an OF girl that makes millions and a virgin. I am so confused. And that's the thing, Bandit, is she really a virgin, or is it just a ploy to make more money? Fishback has some other great ideas, Barn. Blood Logos, that's good. I hope that he wins. I really do hope. Well, I don't know. I don't know his opposition. I don't know all of his takes, but on the guise of the getting the taxes for the people and the schools, right? He mentions the schools. We need to get money back to the schools. And if the sin tax were to go to fund schools and all of it were to go to fund schools, I'd probably be more behind it too. Apprentice, he may be a legitimately good candidate, but I just can't hear his name without thinking about a pimp named Slickback. That's funny. That is true, actually. Mr. B says, lusting after women other than your wife is a sin. She provides that. Lust for men to be self-idols, and hence the reason to dislike her. I appreciate that feedback. That's basically what I was trying to come up with, but much more eloquently put than I could have. And that's just it. Bandit, anything she could put her mind to, and they say men's brains are in their pants. Right? Let's see. TVT, causing others to sin is a big no-no and worse than just sinning themselves. Causing children or Christians to sin is even worse. And then Bandit says, next time we're in chat, I'll discuss you did good but made some mistakes. Nothing that you should be ashamed for. Oh, okay. I'm not real sure what you're referring to, but we'll chat about it. Prentice, I'd be happy if you could just ban it off the internet. They have to pay publishing costs if they want to put their kitty out there. Yeah. Ban it off the internet. And then if they want to do it, if they have the means to go the back door or whatever, sure. And then Bandit, nope, he wants to bring back shame. We don't want him to be a hypocrite now, Apprentice. Now I'm confused. But yeah, I just want to bring shame back. I want to bring back the idea that you don't get to just do whatever the fuck you want and we're just okay with it anymore. I'm just not okay with that. We need to get back to some semblance of order and control here and the world, for that matter. Like I keep mentioning, the countries outside of the United States are losing their rights like they're going out of style, and I can't keep looking. I can't keep watching this shit happen without saying something, without trying to speak out, without trying to raise awareness for it. So again, if you like the content, please share. Right? Share me out there so that other people see me and go, ha, well, look at that stupid potato. And then they watch more because they want to make fun of me. But then they start to see that, potato truths, they blow minds, right? Barn Diesel says, damn it, I was just about to start an OnlyFarms to try and slice off a piece of the degenerate pie, but the big spud told me it should be banned, so I'll refrain. Barn. Nice. I appreciate that, Barn. Apprentice says, I'm glad he brought you to your senses. I am too. I hope that I can bring more people to their senses. I really do. I really do. People were supposed to keep their habits in the shadows. We need to get back to bad things being seen as bad things. I completely agree with that. Shame needs to come back. Public shaming needs to come back. Like Grid 1 earlier mentioned, slut shaming needs to come back, but no, public shaming in general, and including slut shaming, needs to come back, but it all needs to come back. Oh, I see, Bandit. Thanks, Bandit. I appreciate that. And yeah, I appreciate any feedback that I can get. So I'd appreciate the constructive criticism. If you want to call it criticism, that's fine too. I'll take it as constructive. Haha, there. See what I did there? Yeah, B, exactly. Apprentice, Mr. B, say it louder for the people in the back. TVT, we need to share the gospel, love our enemies. Shaming isn't going to bring people to Christ. Christ is quite clear, fellas. Shaming isn't going to bring people to Christ. Well, then what are we supposed to do? Because they don't like it when you bring out the Bible. They just immediately turn you off. Made it. Yay, Chaos Theory. Appreciate you. Appreciate the engagement. Happy Sunday, Tater Nation. And then TVT, what do you think he did when he called them whitewashed tombs? Exactly, Apprentice. That's just it, is the shaming. When he called them vipers, when he called them, all of these other terms back in the day, at that time, in that stage of life, those were taken as slurs. Those were taken as shame. So, it's hard to say what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing with that. Let's see, Bandit. My earbuds died at the wrong time. I thought y'all were reading that as the Jen's rule. Fair, Bandit. TVT, but Christ was perfect and we are not. So shame is okay, but we also need to approach it in a Christ-like manner. Well, and I agree with that. But that's what we're saying is right. Like, what are we supposed to do? Because if you can't call them some kind of shaming tactic, they're never going to learn. They're just going to take it like a nice, that's not what we should be doing. And they just go, fuck, I don't give a shit. Right. Sandwich, thank you very much for the engagement. And Apprentice TVT, I agree. I'm not saying we should be cruel, but their degeneracy needs to be pointed out, which is a form of shame. TVT, you move on if you don't want to hear it. Tell them when they do that you'll be there for them. That's fair. It's TVT, but again, we got to point it out. If we don't ever point it out, and that's a form of shame. What that shame line is, right? That's where it really boils down to it. What we should be shaming, what we shouldn't be shaming. Apprentice, but it should be after we approach them privately and give them a chance to correct themselves in case they were acting out of ignorance. That right there is the thing, is we as people need to start calling each other out again. And I'm not always talking about in public. Public shaming does need to come back, yes, but it doesn't always have to be through public shaming. It just needs to be shame, right? You coming to your personal friend and saying, hey, you need to do something different is still going to feel like shame. It's just not public shaming, right? Blood Logo says, insults are Christ-like. Well, and that's the thing is again, if he was calling people vipers, den of vipers and things like that, that was essentially slurs, shame. So I don't know. Yeah, TVT, I don't think all people mean it that way. They want to be cruel. And that's the thing. And I agree with that for sure. But I'll go ahead and let you guys get on with your evenings. It's going on just about 3 hours now. So I do appreciate everything. The feedback, the constructive criticism. Again, if you haven't seen the debate with them, check it out and give me feedback either through my channel or through Tyler's channel. Any feedback is much appreciated. TVT, if they don't want to hear the gospel, then they aren't going to care about your shame. Well, I can understand that. And unfortunately true, love has grown cold today, and if you aren't coming in love, then you are just being cruel. And then Bandit, we're so screwed up that in pop culture, the shame meme included stripping a woman. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, Blood Logos, thanks Potato. Good stream, fun stream. Have a good one, everyone. Thank you very much, Blood Logos. You have a blessed day, buddy. I'm signing off. So with that being said, I just like to give you guys the feedback. I always like the feedback from the chat, so I like to give you the shout outs while I can. But with that being said, please take care of yourselves out there. Remember those Second Amendment rights within the United States. Because as always, your response time will always be faster than that of the police. And I will always want to keep all of you around. Outside of the United States, please stop giving up your rights and take care of yourselves the best way that you know how as well. And with that being said, the Potato signing off. God, Christ is God. Before I sign off, Christ is God and always will be the King of Kings. Again, thank you very much, everybody. God bless. And the Potato signing off.
Salt in our beds and the road burns deep. Hands like anchors, hearts we keep. Swallowed words in the rolling foam. Men don't cry when they're far from home. Heave, boy, heave through the storm and air. We shoulder the pain. It's the weight we bear. Callous palms and 1,000 scars hide the cracks beneath the stars. Nailed to Judy, wind to bone, stealing our voices, hearts of stone. But even iron rusts with time. We break in silence, line by line. Heave, boys, heave through the storm and air. We shoulder the pain. It's the weight we bear. Callous palms and 1,000 scars hide the cracks beneath the stars. If the tide could speak, it'd call our names. Tell the truth beneath the games. We were taught to guard, defend, provide, but the sea still knows we've cried inside. Heave, boys, heave through the wind's cold stare. We carry the world. It's the weight we bear. Raise your glass, let the lanterns glow. Even hard men bend when the north winds blow. When the north winds Woo! Yeah. We ride the beat like a cosmic glide. Yeah. Got this in no vibe. Yeah. We never hide, chills crab in the corner, spinning tails wide. Every pulse at the bass. Yeah. It's our guide. Yeah. Quirks collide, sparks ignite, colors dance in the neon night.